Welcome to the 22nd Annual Shrine Bowl Classic, 1994. What's the best-kept secret in North America? Well, if you're familiar with a hospital system that offers free, quality medical care to children everywhere, then you've got the answer. That's right. It's Shriners Hospitals for Crippled Children, a network of 22 pediatric specialty hospitals, 19 orthopedic units, and 3 Shriners Burns Institutes that accept and treat children under age 18 at no cost to the patients, their families, or any third-party payer. What many have referred to as the world's greatest philanthropy, Shriners Hospitals, located in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, have substantially improved the quality of life for hundreds of thousands of children over their 72-year history. Shriners Hospitals, whose mission is to help crippled children build better lives, are equipped and staffed to provide expert state-of-the-art medical care to children afflicted with congenital orthopedic deformities, problems resulting from orthopedic injuries, diseases of the bones, joints, and muscles. For nearly 30 years, our Shriners Burns Institutes, recognized internationally as pioneers in burn treatment, have treated thousands of children who have been crippled or disfigured by severe burns, which is one of the greatest hazards of childhood. In addition, 3 of the orthopedic units in Chicago, Philadelphia, and San Francisco provide long-term rehabilitative care and therapy to help spinal cord injured patients relearn the basic skills of everyday life. Today, 88 athletes arrive at Coe College registering for the Shriners All-Star Game.
Future Roger Craigs were gathered for the annual Shrine Bowl on January 30th, but today the players left Cedar Rapids for a bus trip to the Children's Shrine Hospital in Minneapolis. There they had a chance to meet and play with some kids who had a little bit tougher times, to say the least. The proceeds from the game at Cedar Rapids Kingston Stadium will help benefit crippled and burn units at the Shrine Hospital. And over the years, they've collected almost $1 million from these games. Sports Minute is coming up in just a couple of minutes.
And the state's best prep football players are getting ready for this month's Iowa Shrine game. We'll be right back.
Two of high school football stars checked into Coe College today. 2 weeks of practice. Did he just do that? And then it's time for the Iowa Shrine game on the 30th. Roll the tape.
That's right. They wouldn't be here. You know, it's 2 weeks out of their summer. It's their time, and they're giving it up and doing it for a great cause. And this year, the Shrine's going to go over that $1 million mark with the Shrine Bowl that they've held in Iowa over the past however many years, and we're really proud to be part of that.
You know, tomorrow we go out to see them, and it's going to be great. They say it's going to change the outlook and how you look at this game, and you know, I'm ready for it.
Time, the All-Star break, baseball, lots of baseball action, and you're starting off tonight with
football. As strange as it sounds. Indeed, these kids giving up 2 weeks of their summer vacation, which is not easy.
No.
That's right. I'm willing to wager that the favorite thing for a high school student to do in the middle of the summer is not a 5-hour journey on a crowded bus. Am I right here? But this group of talented football players didn't seem to mind. The All-Stars that will play in this year's Iowa Shrine game visited a hospital in Minneapolis today. Chad Beals from Waterloo Columbus playing a little one-on-one. The News Channel 2 spies tell me Chad lost 15-2 and was dunked on 4 times. This footage, thanks to Mark's Video Magic in Cedar Rapids. Thanks, guys. Athletes from our state spreading a lot of joy today. That's certainly great to see. Some Legos, video games, a little pool, and then, unfortunately, it was back on the bus.
After a hard day's work, everybody has their own methods to relax. Some people dare to be really different. Then you have other people who try the harder route, weightlifting, as you see Dave Jacobson and West Delaware working out. Whether it's swimming, weightlifting, or just plain relaxing, everybody has one thing in common. Well, you could be a couch potato, or you could be a Nintendo addict. But when it comes to food, everybody's in line. Cookout with the Iowa pork producers and Lane County pork producers on July 27th. These guys could not wait. They got in line right away.
king and the queen of our game every year. And first of all, I'd like to crown the king, who is seated right down here with his parents. And if you could come up here, King. Tyler Sharif and his parents, Larry and Jill, seated right here. And would you stand out in front? Why don't you go out in front out here? Can you all see him? There he is. Hi, King. Present it to him. Here's a weather plaque. He's receiving a plaque, and he also receives an autographed football.
There you go.
Tyler's from Williamson, Iowa. Our queen this year is from New Hartford, the daughter of Steve and Nancy Strange, Amy. Amy? For our queen, we always have a little crown for her.
I've never crowned a queen before, so hopefully.
There you go.
That okay? All right, you may have to.
Get the football too. And a plaque with her picture, and also a football from our players. Of the Galveston Shrine Burn Institute of the Shrine in Galveston, Texas. Darla, come up forward.
One thing that I just want to say is that meal was so filling, but we were talking about over here that we wondered how many of the football players were going to leave here and go get a pizza or something. Tonight we weren't able to get the tape accompaniment, so I'm going to attempt, and let me say attempt, to sing this for you. It's also a song that I've dedicated to the Shriners because of everything that they have done for me. It's called Thank You for the Love. Many years ago, on a November morning, a little girl got badly burned by fire. The doctors told her parents there wasn't much that they could do. So the parents sat and waited and they prayed. Months and months went by as they sat with their daughter. She got a little better every day. The doctors told her parents that it must have been from God, 'cause they'd never had one quite that bad survive. Thank you for the love unselfishly you gave. Thank you for the love, pillars of strength from day to day. If there ever was a time to show it, this would be that special moment. Thank you for the love. Many years ago, on a Good Friday morning, the little girl and mom could go back home. Their family waited anxiously as they stepped off the plane to reunite their family together as one. Through the years, the sacrifices that you made, I never once heard you complain. I don't know how to say just how much you mean to me, but I hope my song can somehow make you see. Thank you for the love.
The 1994 Shrine All-Stars, starting with the South Squad.
Game time, your thoughts on as your team gets ready to go into action tonight?
Boy, I hope I don't have to throw up or anything like that. It's getting real nervy out here. Butterflies are starting to generate for everybody, and it's bound to be a real bash going into this ballgame.
What do you hope to see from your kids tonight?
Just intensity. We just want to play hard and let the chips fall where they may.
You had 13 good days with these kids?
It's been excellent. The kids have been great. I think they've had a good time. We've played a lot of football. We're about footballed out, and we're ready to hit somebody different for a while. Thank you.
Game time coming up. How do you feel?
Oh, Pete, really good. The kids have had a great, couple weeks of togetherness and preparing for this game, and it's just a great time. There's such great leadership throughout the high school and football programs in the state of Iowa, and to see 44 of the best here, it's just really a joy and a pleasure to work with them for a couple weeks.
What do you hope to get done today?
Well, I hope we can get the ball in the end zone a few times, and I hope we can keep the South out, and if we do that, I think we're going to be successful. They're very talented, as everyone knows, and it's just a great challenge. I got excited when I knew I had the opportunity to try to keep Tim Dwight out of the end zone again. So what the heck, let's get after it.
Has it been fun to have these kids together?
Oh yeah, they work so well together and feel so good about each other. It's really it's a neat time. They're getting ready to head off to college. Their enthusiasm is high, and they've got great concentration, and their work ethic's been super. Thanks, Pete.
Where are you from?
Michael Babbitt, Nishna Valley.
John Barlow, Carlisle.
Aaron Bowman, Carroll Community. Chad Beals, Columbus Junction.
Dan Bodis, Missouri Valley.
Matt Braddock, Tipton.
Brian Brooks, Knoxville.
Brad Buffington, Winfield Mount Union.
Michael Berger, Harlan.
Matt Casebold, Albion.
Matt Chapman, Creston.
BJ Donahoe, West Des Moines, Dowling. Name where you're from.
Tim Dwight, Iowa City High.
Aaron Egbert, Mediapolis High School.
Steve English, Mount Pleasant High School. Chet Fisher, Norwalk.
Jared Georgia, Sycam, Manila.
Joe Halberg, State L, Iowa.
Jeff Harger, Glenwood.
Nathan Hurt, Davenport Central.
Dustin Johnson, Keokuk.
Mike Kell, Little Central High School.
Corey Kluver, Ankeny.
Derek Lane, Atlantic. Andy Lawrence, Solon, South.
Mike Luna, Lincoln High School, baby.
Keith Lyle, Sigourney, Kyoto. Todd McGinnis, Shenandoah.
Ron McQuaid, Biddendorf. Gary Mayfield, Davenport Assumption.
Dan Peterson, West Branch. Mark Portinga, Pella.
Ron Reed, Pekin.
Scott Remsburg, West Des Moines Valley.
Josh Riley, West Marshall.
Carter Rumler, Dallas Center Grant.
Jared Schwinn, Denison.
Todd Scott, Newton.
Gene Smirka, Clinton.
Aaron Strong, Southeast Polk.
Lloyd Twilley, Burlington.
Ryan Walters, Cedar Rapids Prairie.
Kenan Williams, Madrid.
Matt Young, Indianola.
Todd Blatt, Harlan. Matt Howard, Audubon.
Tom Casey, Irwin Kirkman, Manila.
Bob Howard from Circuit Kyoto.
Bob Jensen, Mount Pleasant.
Chuck Brettel, Southeast Polk.
Brian Billick, South O'Brien.
Chad Mixter, Gurney Center.
Bruce Blue, Cedar Rapids, Washington.
Borman, Preston.
John Elder Jr.
Matt Bowers, City North.
Jason Gidurki, Spirit
Jerry
Lake.
DeVries, Appleton, Parkersburg.
Matt Dryman, Garner Hayfield.
John Stott, Northwood, Kansas.
Lance Long, Algona Bishop Garrigan.
Ryan Durst, Albert City, Truesdale.
Scott Hertzman.
John Elder, Sioux City West.
DeAndre Jones.
Jason Gengerke, Spirit Lake.
Dan Knipp.
Matt Graham, Garner Hayfield.
Chris Knipper, Dyersville Beckman.
That's all. Bishop Garrigan.
Dan Kramer, Cherokee, Washington.
Scott Herkelman, Hudson.
Eric Larson, Woodbury Central. Mitch Lawrence, New Hampton.
DeAndre Jones, Waterloo.
Jason Lurch, Vince Shelter.
Dan Knipp.
Waterloo Slum.
West Lyons.
Chris Knipper, Dyersville Beckman.
Southern Cal.
Chad Kramer. Cherokee.
Right here.
Eric Larson, Woodbury Central.
Okay.
Mitch Lowers, New Hampton.
Jason Lurch from Benton.
Clay Metzger, West Line.
Ryan Plattner, Anamosa.
Matt Miller, Southern Cal.
Jim Noonan, Monticello. Joe Olson.
Ken Rockow, Forest City.
Andrew Paulson, Waverly, Shellrock.
Joe Rogers, Center Point.
Michael Lucy, Linmar.
Chris Rooney,
Right here.
Elam.
Ryan Platten, Ranamosa.
Jeff Shaney, Emmitsburg.
Right here.
Charlie Shipper,
And Popham, Sterling.
Memphis region.
Chad Rockwell, Forest City.
Lawton Bronson,
Joel Rogers, Center Point, Urbana.
Paul Schroeder, Galen Catholic.
Chris Rooney, Sioux City Hill.
Mason City.
Jeff Shaney, Emmitsburg.
Stevenson, Eagle Grove.
Charlie
Jeff
Schimberg,
London,
Regis.
Chester.
Larry Slins, Lawton Ross.
Cedar Rapids, Kennedy. Mark Weaver, West Delaware.
Paul Schrader, Lamar's Galen.
Stephen Langford, Bullwine.
Right here.
Jim Scarlett, Mason C.
Dubuque.
Todd Stevenson, Eagle Grove.
Jeff Swenson, Spencer.
For the North Squad.
Jim Thornton, Cedar Rapids, Kennedy.
Dan Cole
Mark Weaver, West Delaware.
and Joe Malcolm Jr.
Dave Whiteford, 01. Hi, Dave.
The assistant
Scott
coaches
Wyatt, West Dubuque.
are
Thanks, Scott.
Grundy Center.
Nate Zier, Fort Dodge.
Dave
Thanks, Nate.
Norman,
Right
Storm
here, right here, right here. Your name?
John Purnell.
From?
Linmar.
Joe Malcolm.
Dan Cole, Linmar.
Right here.
Greg Myers, Grundy Center.
Okay.
Joe Malsom, Sioux City.
Coach? Bob Myers from Grundy Center.
Thanks, Bob.
Dave Barkley, Arlington.
Thanks, Dave.
Dave Jacobson, West Delaware.
Thanks, Dave.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, time for the introduction of our officials for tonight's game.
Joe Malsom, Heelan, Sioux City.
Beckman, Tim Reed from Monticello, Mitch Lawrence from New Hampton, Brian Billy from South O'Brien.
Well, and you know, one of the things that Greg, we talked a lot about Tim Dwight on the other side, but you know, the North has some outstanding offensive. Obviously, one of the ones he mentioned was one that I know a little bit better than most, Joel Rogers, and he was the leading rusher in the state regular season for 2 years in a row. The other individual that we saw play in a state championship team, Chris Rooney from Sioux City Heelan, was an outstanding running back. Unfortunately, in the playoff game, he played hurt and wasn't expected to play in that game. And as Greg mentioned, Pelusi from Linmar is also an outstanding running back, and the other one, number 39, Charlie Schimberg from Cedar Rapids Regis, is an outstanding back. So they've the stable of horses is not bare on the north side by any shape or form.
No doubt about it. Ryan Walter, also from Cedar Rapids Prairie, is playing on the north squad. And Lonnie, what do you see the keys in a game such as an all-star game like we're just about to see? Because with 88 of the finest seniors around the state of Iowa, there can't be too many flaws.
Well, unfortunately, we probably will see a lot of flaws in the ball game, but these kids have only had an opportunity to practice for about a week, plus they've had a lot of other activities going on during the week. But there's a couple of things, like we mentioned, that they can only rotate, they rotate every 9 plays, and the other thing is that no blocking. You cannot block below the waist during the ball game, which changes a few things. And the other thing is that defensively, both teams, you'll see the South playing somewhat of a 5-man front. You'll see you'll see the South playing a 5-man front. You'll see the North playing a 4-man front or a 4-3 defense. But the one thing they cannot do, they cannot stun on defense. So that, and if they're going to put somebody up or bring somebody on a play, what he has to do is come up and beyond the line of scrimmage at the snap of the ball. So you won't see the stunning. So that helps the offensive line out a little bit. But and then on the punting, they conserve the punting. Only 2 or 3 individuals can rush at any one given time. So it does change the complexion of the game a little bit. But this first 2 or 3 series of plays, you're going to see the two teams just sort of trying to feel each other out, settle down a little bit because the adrenaline's flowing at about 150 miles an hour right now, and they need to calm down a little bit and get into a little bit of a routine and find out what they can do and what they can't do offensively and defensively.
Well, the one thing we won't see is Tim Dwight returning this opening kickoff because the South team will be kicking to the north, and kicking off for the South is Heath Lyle. He comes to us from Keota. Howard coaches down at Keota. They took out Solon in the state playoffs earlier last year, that is, before losing to Mount Vernon going on to Class 2A. Deep for the north, we have ourselves, I think Joel Rogers is out there from Center Point, as well as Tim Noonan from Monticello, but I'll check that. Here's the kickoff, and the game is underway. Rogers will receive it his hands and into the end zone for a touchdown. Referee's right there with that play. The North squad will get their hands on the football first to see what they can do with it, as they will head south as from left to right.
Well, he got his foot into the ball that time. That ball was airborne all the way into the end zone. Ball, I think they were planning on it coming to about the 5 or 10 yard line because the ball sailed pretty much over Joel's head.
Mark Weaver will start at quarterback. He is a senior from West Delaware. Weaver has had quite a year himself, a career that is, at West Delaware, being coached by David Jacobson, a first-team All-State Iowa Newspaper Association at Des Moines Register, a first-team All-District history in senior years. Here's the handoff. It goes out on the left side of the top, and it looks like it's Charlie Shipper from Cedar Rapids. He's out across the 20, and they see his knee hit.
Well, that's about as basic as you can get on the opening play of the ball game. Give it to a young man like Charlie Schemberg from Regis, who's a pretty steady ball player, sure-handed, and he picked up 2 or 3 yards and got a few of those jitters out of the way.
3-yard pickup on the play for the North. Jason Jenkerke from Spiro Lake is split out to the right. Weaver back at quarterback. It's a trips formation. Now it's a handoff right on the right side and stuffed in the middle, and there's Scott from Weaver making a stop on the ball carrier. Again, it looks like it's Charlie Schemberg.
That's Schemberg again, and they run the same play 2 times in a row, picked up a couple of yards. One of the things you're going to see from the North squad is they will not have a tight end up on the line of scrimmage at any given time. They're going to be spread out pretty much all over the field. They'll have trips on one side. Sometimes they'll have 4 receivers out, and most of the time they'll end up with only 1 back in the backfield. So you're going to see a pretty much of a wide open offense, and this is Sioux City Heelan's offense.
Scott Herkelman brings the play in to Mark Weaver. Now it's a little play action, and the ball's handed off to Schipper, who slips and then he regains his balance. He'll slip in there on the defensive line, and he'll lose about 2 yards. Nice defensive effort. Steve English from Mount Pleasant. Ryan Walter playing defensive tackle tonight on the South squad. He also ended that stop for the South. And brings up the 4th down with a loss of 1.
Well, they ran the last play was a little counter-action play. They thought maybe they were able to get the defense moving a little bit one direction or another. So here's the first punt of the ball game.
Joe Olson doing the punting. He's from Dubuque Senior. He punts it away from Tim Dwight, who was back to return the punt, and it's a short one just crosses midfield, and it is down by
Right up on the defense.
Yeah, we're definitely ready. Just stay relaxed. Relaxed players play the best. That's all there is to it, and let the offense do the trick.
Todd, what's it mean to play in the All-Star in the Shrine Game?
It means a lot, but it's not the football part. It's more of, we got to go to the hospital. Let Darla, who came to the banquet last night, that's what it's all about. This is just a lot of fun. This is the fun exclamation point.
You up? With Joel Rogers, Center Point Urbana North squad. Joel, what's it like to be playing this game?
Best fling in the world, I tell you that. It certainly gets ready for college, though. I mean,
what's it like, Joel, to have been with all these guys the last 13 days?
A great experience. You couldn't ask for a better, group of 44 guys and 5 coaches. It's been one heck of an experience.
What's been the best part about coming together with these guys?
Well, I don't think I've ever had this many friends in my life coming from a small town of Center Point. So, and the trip to the Shrine Hospital in Minneapolis was a fun time.
Joel Rogers, Center Point Urbana North.
Nice attendance.
Todd McGinnis.
This is the first chance for the South in this All-Star game. At quarterback is Scott Remsburg from West Des Moines Valley. He pitches it back. It looks like it's Tim Dwight. They stack him up across midfield at about the 48-yard line. So 4 yards for Tim Dwight, but we know that it's only one shot when he has an inch, he'll make it into a mile.
Well, in that time, that was just a little toss sweep out of the I formation. But one of the things you're going to see a little bit from the South squad is they're going to run a lot of motion. They're going to be sending people across the formation, trying to maybe confuse the defense of the North just a little bit.
2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard pickup from Dwight there in North territory at the 48-yard line. In motion, it's McQuaid from Bettendorf. Here's the... There's no question, Lonnie, that they are concerned about Tim Dwight's ability, and at that juncture with the Rodney McCoy in the backfield, you better look out for some type of a counter or a reverse attack.
Well, they're going to try to get the ball, of course, to Tim Dwight. But like you mentioned, Jerry, there's some other people back there that if they key too much on Dwight, there's going to open up some other people, and they've got their first 3rd down and 4 situation of the ball game.
Remsburg at quarterback, and it's a trips formation to the left, a 3-step drop. He looks it across the middle, and he fires, and it goes behind Matt Jones from Indiana. Remsburg out of West Des Moines Valley. He had a nice high school basketball season. Favorite subject of Scott Remsburg at high school, Lonnie will note, is art. He likes the world of the arts. There's a lot variety of arts out there in the world today.
Well, as we mentioned, Jerry, both teams pretty much just trying to find out what each other is going to be doing. And here comes the first punt for the South.
4th down and 4. And the first miscues you can see as the South has a short number of players now. They do get set. Running in there was Jared Schwinn from Denison. It's a high punt. And it's off to the left. Joel Rogers with the reception of the fair catch just inside the 15 at the 14. And so East has had a series of downs. Neither has been able to pick up a first down. And the North after the punt will pick up a chance now to move for the 2nd time this quarter.
Well, in the last time, the North Schimberg ran the ball 3 times, pretty much 2 on just a little off-tackle plays and 1 on a counter. So now they're probably going to take a look and just see a little bit what's going on the outside now. So I'm sure you're going to see either the ball put up in the air or something like a toss sweep.
John Elder Jr. from Sioux City West, who is going to the University of Nebraska on a full-ride scholarship and a quarterback now for the North. In motion it goes. Tim Noonan. It wasn't Noonan, it's Chad Kramer, and the handoff on the right side. It's Joel Rogers. And he drives forward, and that gets up the first down of the night for either team, and that is for the North. Joel Rogers from Center Point, as Lonnie had mentioned earlier in the broadcast, led this entire state in rushing this past season. Picks up 11 yards. And Lonnie, we might as well note that namesake of yours, he follows your athletic ability.
I think he's a little better than I was.
Out to the 25-yard line. It's again a handoff to Rogers. He skips to the outside. Two carries for Joel Rogers, and both of them were nearly first down runs, and it looks as if that might be what it is. They're going to modify the half-yard side. Shifting a little runner, but he's got a lot of speed with those moves.
Well, and it's pretty much, he's used to running out of this particular formation because at Center Point last year, Ted pretty much went to a lot of I formation running so that they could utilize him a little bit more because he was carrying the ball 25 to 35 times a ball game. So he's pretty comfortable running from that position.
Ball is just shy of the 35-yard line, picked up with 9. Here's a handoff. It goes in. It's a crossbar action. And a nice run for the North. 46-yard line. Lance Hall with the 12-yard pickup for the North.
Well, that was set up pretty well because they'd run to the left side 2 times in a row with Rogers, and then they faked the little play action right back to him, and then came back real quickly with a little counter action to the weak side, and the flow had pretty much gone to the right.
Nickname of him is Runner, and we can see why. Now here's quarterback Hunter rolling out to his left with a good move. He gets tripped up from behind on a nice play by Jared Schwinn from Denison. That's 2 good plays that Schwinn has made. And he'll just get back to the line.
Pretty popular. Yeah,
Well, that was a
instinct, I guess. It's just, I didn't even think about it. Or think about it a little bit, but then just hit him.
What's it like to be playing in the Shrine Game for you, Todd?
Most exciting thing in my high school career, I guess.
What's it been like to come together with all these guys?
I guess you're a big fish in your own school, but then when you come here, you're a little fish in a huge ocean. So it's
enjoyed the last 13 days?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm ready to go home now. It's my own bed.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Roll out, it's an option. A nice pitch out there. Down to the 34. Will be a pickup of 20 yards for Lance Hall.
That's 32 yards for Lance Hall, 12 on the first one and 20 on the second one, and 2 first downs.
9:25 remaining in the first quarter. This is the second series of downs for the North. Ball goes into motion to the left. Elder with the handoff now. He gives it up to Charlie Schimberg of Regis, and he'll get just across the 30 and smothered under by a host of Southern Division, Southern All-Stars from Atlantic in to stop the ball carrier, and that'll bring up a second down, and there's your last substitution of defenders. About the only time that a coach could ever be able to substitute a number 1 unit for a number 1 unit.
Well, and I think that was probably, if we counted them up, I'm sure that that's about 9 plays, because that's what both of the teams are going to be rotating their players. The only exception to that would be is if they were on a drive and they were moving the ball, they do not have to pull their players out in that situation.
4-yard pickup by Schimberg, second down and 6. Here's the inside handoff. It goes to Chris Rooney, the big fullback from Sioux City Heelan. He had to spin a couple of times just across the line of scrimmage to pick up any yardage. He did pick up a couple of yards, but as you mentioned, in last year's championship game, Chris was a bulldozer worker for Sioux City Heelan, especially that opening drive when they scored.
Well, he was their mainstay all the way through the season, not only offensively but defensively. He was injured, was not expected to play in that championship game, and came off and made a valiant effort and played a very good football game that day. But he's a horseback there at 6'2", 220.
Elder back to pass. Now he has to run it right behind the penalty marker down, and he'll get to about the 25-yard line, shy of the first down. And usually when the penalty marker comes from the umpire behind the defense,
I'm sure it'll probably be a holding. I haven't seen a preliminary signal yet, but I think that's what it's going to be, holding.
Officials tonight are from the central part of the state, from Pella. So a full crew of gentlemen that are coming here tonight, and for them it's another great honor to be working an All-Star game.
Well, you know, sometimes we forget about the officials, but this is not only a big game for the ball players and the coaches, but it's a big game for the officials. As you mentioned, Jerry, it is quite an honor to be able to officiate the Shrine game and the All-Star game. So they're excited. I'm sure had a few jitters tonight before the ball game started.
From the spot of the foul, it'll be a 12-yard loss in the play, 10 yards on the hold, and the foul was committed 2 yards behind the original line of scrimmage. So back to the 40 goes the North squad, third down and 16 from the 40. Elder continues to be at quarterback in trip formation right. He rolls right. Back to pass. A quick throw right down the middle of the gun. And he has a run. Oh, through his hand. Chad Kramer from Cherokee had to turn around to catch it. It caught him with his left hand, and his knee may have knocked it out of his hand.
Well, number 18, Chet Fisher from Norwalk. He's 6'4", 185 pounds. He was back there, and I'm not sure, but I think he might have tipped the ball just a little bit.
Incomplete pass to Chad Kramer from John Elder brings up another 4th down and 16. Quick snap. Olsen is good punting. He's going to go out to the left. They're not going to let Tim Dwight get his hands on it. And the ball bounces at the 15. Takes a hop laterally and lands at about the 18. So first down and 10 for the South Division. It'll be their second drive of the
Well, in that time, the thing that really the North was able to move the ball. I'm going to have to get these things as North and South straight here, Jerry. Somehow I'm having trouble. But anyway, they were able. The big thing that they achieved on this, they were able to move the ball a little bit, and now they've got great field position and having pushed the South all the way back to inside their 15-yard line.
Michael Berger from Harlan is at tight end. Tim Dwight is the tailback. We'll be looking for him. Here's the handoff from Remsburg to Dwight. He skips to the outside. He's got some room. He's out to the 15, now to the 20. This is put right to the 25, 30, 35. He probably broke down at the 40. Tim Dwight got a nice block on the inside and skipped to the outside. A tackle made by Jared DeVries from Appleton, Parkersburg, and Maurice Blue from Cedar Rapids, Washington. Did a very nice pursuit on that corner, and a nice run by Tim Dwight to get out to the 40, a 22-yard pickup.
Well, the one thing that defensively that I'm sure that they've talked about, and I know they've talked about, is that you can't afford to let Dwight get to the outside. And that time he was able to get to the outside, and once he's there, then it becomes a foot race, and he's going to win most of those.
At quarterback, it's Scott Remsburg from West Des Moines Valley, and he hands off to the fullback right up the middle. And stepped up in the middle, and puts his number and his name. 25.
Yeah, helped us out a lot. Get the ball down there close. Real punch it in now.
How is it to play in this game?
It's great. It's the most fun I've ever had. It's a great experience.
You come together with these other guys from all across the state?
It's really a team. We came together these last 2 weeks, and we're ready to go.
Thanks, Jeff.
Absolutely. Tim Dwight is at the slot. They don't have anybody guarding him, and now he's into motion back deep. It's a quick pitch back to him. They're going to try to get him to the outside. Squeeze out in the right tackle he goes. Hit by Ryan Walter, and as well, Josh Dodd from Northwood Kensett helps out and brings Dwight down at about the 45-yard line. So that's going to down and 5 after the 4-yard pickup.
Well, again, what they did is they just brought him in motion from set him out on the left side of the formation, brought him in motion, and primarily it's just a toss sweep. They tried to see if they could get the defense to shift over to the other side, and but the defense did a great job of sliding down the line and shutting the play off pretty well.
Down to 5. No running backs in the backfield. It trips to the right formation into the short side. Remsburg back to pass. He throws up right up over the top. He goes to the big tight end, but it'll be too far. Michael Berger from Garland is running a nice route to Remsburg to overthrow him. Coverage for the North back there, Jeff Swenson from Spencer, and it brings up another
North squad. Matt has a pretty good
sense of wide out in the
yeah, it's been fun out there. There's a lot of good players and everything. We just got to keep playing good ball for the next 3 quarters, I guess. See if we can pull away. We're the big underdogs. So
what's this like for you to play in this?
It's great. This is one of the dream games I've always had, is playing a game like this, and I'm finally here, I guess. So
right to left. Here's the punt. And it's a deep one now, taken by Joe Rogers over 13. That's the block he set up the net. He's chased down into the box, just right down the side. He's got the block set up. Big picket fence in the back of the ball by Hunter. A nice play by Hunter. Carter Gilmore from Dallas St. Brian's may have saved a touchdown. Nice return by Joe Rogers.
It's too bad he couldn't have seen it, but he had a picket fence, and the punter was pretty much committed to the outside. It's too bad he couldn't have looked back. Joel Rogers couldn't have looked back to the inside, because I think he could have gone all the way on it. But a good picket fence set up on the side, cleaned up the corner very well, and it was the punt return was set up. And again, they've ended up with pretty good starting field advantage here, starting on the 42-yard line.
That was the 29-yard punt return by Joel Rogers after the 42-yard punt by Roman. First and 10 for the North. And back at quarterback is Mark Weaver from West Delaware. And he play action. Weaver's going to go right across the middle, and it's intercepted. He was looking for his tight end, Eric Larson from Woodbury Central, and an interception by Nathan Hurt from Davenport Central. And our first turnover of the night. They're by the North and the South now with a chance to capitalize.
Well, and that was one of those passes that the receiver was pretty much, as you mentioned, Eric Larson was pretty much tied up. He was not open. He was pretty been knocked off from his pattern. And that's one of those footballs where you'd like to say, hey, just hold it, throw it out of bounds. Don't try to squeeze the ball or shoot the ball in there too tight. So that's one that you'd like to have back, but unfortunately you can't do it.
Nathan Hurt picks up the interception from Davenport Central. They have a pretty fine program going at Davenport Central. That's Scott Remsburg at quarterback. Here's the counter play to Tim White. It's cut, and he'll be thrown down. Very degrees. Pick up 1 yard. Seeing Tim Dwight run last year in the Bettendorf game, he ran the ball 39 times. Ran the ball 25 times, and in the championship game against Sioux City Healing, back to around the 30-time carry during a game. And there's no question that relying on him, they also relied on a nice offensive line at City Hall.
Well, he did. That's one of the things everybody forgets. But he had probably one of the finest offensive lines in front of him, which certainly helped show off his skills.
New quarterback in there for the South. It is Mark Utica from Pella. Here's a handoff. It goes and right across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Mike Kell from Council Bluffs, Lewis Central, making a long trip over for this last 10 minutes of the Shriners All-Star High School football game. Gain of about 5 yards out to the 46-yard line.
Third down, 3,
down
46.
And a long 3, nearly 4 yards for the South. Fortinga at quarterback, and it's an eye backfield. Play action. Great penetration. All short from Lamar Galen. Takes him down in the backfield, and a surprise. Mark Fortinga gets up. He thought he still had some running room to the outside.
Well, Schroeder did a great job that time. He was sitting in the inside there. He made a little move to the inside and then went right through the gap, right into the backfield, and no one even gave him a ticket that time because he went right straight through and sacked the quarterback. So big play, big defensive play by Schroeder.
That's That's a 6-yard loss on Porting. A nice play by Schroeder, the big defensive lineman for the North. His nickname is PW. We don't know what it stands for, but we'll just call him PW for tonight. Here's the punt, and it's fumbled out there by the North, and it looks like the South will have recovered. Andrew Paulson from Waverly Shellrock, a rare rescue for the North end from Waverly Shellrock, that played on a state championship team and played on 3 playoff teams for Coach Dave Arns up at Waverly Shellrock, and it looks like we have a penalty flag on the play as well. Lonnie, sorted out for you.
Well, I'm not quite sure what it's going to be, but it looks like they're one of the coaches here on the North squad was pointing back, and I think the ball's going to go back, and we're going to start all over again, but we'll wait and see what the officials call here.
Fortunately for the North, that will happen. A couple of young men that were not able to play in tonight's high school football game because of commitment to the United States military. From Lisbon, we have a leave the last part of June to go out to Colorado Springs to join the Upper Academy. And Josh Lauder from Iowa City West had the same unfortunate incident for himself, having to miss this, some sorely missed athletic talent on both the North and the South squads. Kate from Lisbon and Josh Lauder, his Iowa City West. Illegal procedure on the South. So as you mentioned, Lonnie, the North will take the penalty and move the ball 5 yards back, and they will make them punt again, this time from the 35-yard line.
Well, the North dodged the bullet that time, so I'm sure Greg Purnell's breathing a little easier now, having them set back and have to punt the ball again.
4th and 15 now from the 35. A nice high punt by Romiller. Fair catch by Joel Rogers at about the 27-yard line. The last time Joel got his hands on the ball, he nearly scooted down the sideline for a touchdown, but this time he'll fair catch it. He'll stay in the game, and the North will go to offense for the 3rd time tonight. Actually, the 4th time. They had an interception on their very first play on the 3rd possession. And Elder back into the ball game now for the North.
That was a good punt. That ball was up in the air, had a lot of hang time on it. Really didn't allow the North to set up any type of a return that time.
1st and 10 from the 28. We're down to the 3-minute mark in the first quarter of play. This is the 22nd annual El Cajir Shriners All-Star High School football game. Here's the handoff to Rogers right up the middle. They're banging away at the middle, just trying to power their way, and with a nice strong runner like a Joel Rogers with as much power as he has at 5'11", 190, runs the 40 in 4.6. He himself behind a stack of bricks could at least get 2 or 3 yards if there's nothing there. Rogers picks up 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 as they cross the 30 out to the 31. Elder is the quarterback. The ball across the 31, hunkering over the ball is Chad Bixby from Grundy Center. His coach Bob Meyer on the North coaching squad. Here's Elder with a nice running room, nice fake and option, and he had one man to beat, but his offensive lineman couldn't get there to throw a block for him. Larry Schlein from Lawton Bronson, not quite quick enough to offer a block for Elder to get outside, but nevertheless Elder runs for a 1st down out across the 45. Gain of 14 on the play brings up 1st and 10.
Well, that was a good play by Elder that time. He came down. He ran that play a little bit earlier, turned the ball up inside, but then he pitched the ball to, I think it was Lance Hall, who ended up with a big game. That time they came down and Hall was covered, and Elder tucked the ball, faked the pitch, and tucked it and went right up the field for a nice big gain.
And here's the handoff. It goes to Charlie Schimberg, who stretches for midfield and ends up a yard shy for 29. Nice defensive effort by Corey Kluver from Ankeny, but Schimberg will get approximately 4 yards on the play.
Schimberg's a hard runner. He carried the load for Regis in there. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds, so he's a horse to bring down, and that time showed some good quickness. Slipped to the outside, picked up about 3 yards on the play. Very well run.
Scoreless first quarter, Lonnie, with a minute and a half to go. Are you surprised at all?
No, not at all, really. Both teams are just sort of trying to find out what the other team's going to do and trying to find out what offensively they can do.
It's a 2nd down and 6 from the 49. Here's a reverse handoff that goes to Lance Hall, and he was shut down to the outside, and then he trips over his own lineman. Great defensive effort by Michael Babbitt from Mission Valley, and he ran over his own lineman, Dan Knipp from Waterloo, Columbus. It's Lance Hall. He came in motion this way, and then he went back. And I suppose any defensive end would be able to read that at all, wouldn't it?
Well, they did a good job. I mean, defensively, they did a great job of containing the play and keeping it to the inside. That's why the play didn't work very well. So it was a good defense. And Hall is a little jitterbug. He almost found an opening over there.
And here is Hall again in motion. Now he runs into Elder, and they screen out to the right to shoot. He's got one blocker. He gets tripped up from behind, and then another shot coming in front of him. Thought to get us some Shenandoah, and a nice blow on him to begin with, but but he was caught from behind. I want to say it was Heath Lyle from Keota Sigourney that just tripped him up from behind. They did pick up some decent yardage on the play, and it held them from picking up any more and getting close to a first down. And it give them 4 yards on the pass play from Elder to Charlie Shepard. Pickup of 4 yards.
Well, Elder was very lucky that time. That was a play action off in that little counter play that they just ran earlier, and the play just wasn't there. In fact, the quarterback and Elder and Hall ran into each other.
And at the end of the first quarter, we have a scoreless tie. We have a scoreless game in this 22nd annual Shriners All-Star High School football game. We'll have a second quarter action in 60 seconds. And here's Olson's punt that is down by Tim Dwight. His first chance really to get his hand on a punt at the 16-yard line. So we have a 1st and 10 for the South as we begin the second quarter of action with a scoreless tie here in this All-Star game. Mark Porting back in at quarterback, and he has in the backfield Gary Mayfield from Davenport Assumption. In motion, it's Michael Berger from Harlan, and we have penalty markers on the play. We'll sort it out for you as we try to get mention some of the players on the field. Also in there is Mike Hill from Council Bluffs Lewis Central. That's in your backfield. Mike Braddock from Tipton also on the field now for the South. It looks like a legal procedure against the South squad. And it'll be 1st down and 15. Pretty impressed with the sound fundamentals that all of these athletes are using with the short amount of practice time that they've had with this coaching staff. Porting ahead, quarterback, and he hands the ball off. It goes to Mike Kell from Council Bluffs Lewis Central. He gets back about most of the yardage that he lost in the illegal procedure penalty. Back out across the 15, just shy of the 16. We'll give him a 4-yard pickup on the play.
Go right straight at it. That's what they're trying to do. They tried right to the outside. They're working on the middle just a little bit.
And here's the handoff from Porting. It goes to Kell once again, and he's across the 20 out near the 25 as he bangs into Chris Knipper. Also Jason Lurch in on that stop. Knipper from Dyersville, Lurch is from Vinton. Out across the 20 to the 24-yard line. A pretty nice pickup on the play of 9 yards. Mike Kell from Council Bluffs Lewis Central has touched the ball the last 2 times.
That's his 3rd carry of the ball game, Gary. He's picked up 8.
Nice run on the play by Kell from Council Bluffs Lewis Central. Call him Kelster, as you can see, and his favorite athlete, Lonnie, is Emmett Smith. So you can imagine maybe he tries to run a little bit like Emmett.
Well, he's doing a pretty good job of it right now.
Last 2 times. 3rd down and 3 from the 24-yard line. Here's the handoff. It goes to Kell once again. He eludes one would-be tackler, and then Lurch gets a hold of him across the 25, shy of the 1st down. It looks like we'll wait and see where their spot is, but a nice run by Kell, who got tripped up in the backfield, skipped to the outside, and then had to fight off 2. He did pick up the 1st down on about a very, very hard 4-yard pickup.
Well, he made that 1st down by about a half a yard.
3-yard pickup on the play. Tough running by Mike Kell. 1st and 10 for the South at about the 27. Here's the naked option. The pitch back to Kell, and he's rushed and thrown to the ground. Great defensive effort out there by the North. It's Matt Dryman from Garner Hayfield made the penetrating tackle on Kell. Threw him for a loss of about 4. Mark Porting from Pella and Scott Remsburg from West Des Moines Valley are sharing quarterback honors duties tonight, and Porting is in there right now. Matt Young brought in the play. He's from Indianola. Here's the play action pass back. He looks, he pumps, and he throws right over the top. Has a wide open Rod McQuay, and he just over his outstretched fingertips. Great throw, and McQuay did a great thing for himself by running to catch the football before reaching out and slowing himself down.
Well, that's a big game.
There's a young man that came from a fine program, Merv Habenecht over at Bettendorf. They've won some state titles. He is in the same backfield with a young man that went to the University of Iowa just a year ago and will be eligible this coming fall. Timeout now taken by Mark Porting. Didn't like what he saw on the field, and we'll do the same here. We have a scoreless game here in the 22nd annual Shriners High School All-Star Football game. 12 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the first half. We'll be back in 60 seconds. It'll be a 4th and 25 for the South Division. Joel Rogers is back for the North, standing down about midfield, and here's the punt. It goes off the right side, and now it curves across. Rogers will take it at the 47. Has some blockers, and there's a nice block. He's down the left sideline once again. It's the old picket fence. He cuts back across the middle at the 20, and he's caught from behind and hit at the 25 or 15, and it's Tim Dwight from Iowa City High that saves the touchdown on Joel Rogers, but he needed one more block. He made a nice cut back to the middle, and that's kind of where he ran into some trouble. Hard punt return by Joel Rogers as it's 1st and 10 for the North. Rogers with the handoff off the left side, and then he'll get a couple of tough yards on that. Nice defensive effort out there by Aaron Bauman from Carroll Community. Joel Rogers doing double duty now. Lonnie, you had mentioned earlier that he was going to be doing some punt return, and he's done 2 good punt returns so far. You think that third one might be the charm?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've always said that when you're a punt return individual, you want to have some great blocking up in front of you. Both times when he's had the good returns, they've done a great job of sealing off the corner, which allows you to get to the outside and make some things happen. But that was his 4th rush of the ball game for 25 yards.
2nd down and 8, 2-yard pickup on the play, and Mark Weaver, the quarterback from the North, decides he doesn't like what he sees. He takes a timeout, and we'll do the same. 10:29 remaining in the second period of the Shriners All-Star High School football game. We're back in 60 seconds. Here's a young man, Joel Rogers from Center Point, Urbana, that led the entire state in rushing in all classes last year. He had over 3,000 yards rushing in his entire career, so you know he handled the ball well. Here's a reverse play. It goes to Chad Kramer of Cherokee, and he skips out on the right side of the end zone and in for the score. You know, I suppose, Lonnie, that was set up by the timeout by Mark Weaver from West Delaware, and of course maybe Greg Purnell went out there and said, hey, let's do something fancy here.
Counter sweep and did a great job. They down near the goal line, the little reverses, the little counters are big plays because you usually have a defense that becomes very aggressive and takes most of the face, takes the face. And that time they did, and a great call. Joe Malsom, the offensive coordinator for the North team from Sioux City Heel, and chalk one up was a great call.
13-yard run for the score by Chad Kramer, and Joel Olson in to do the extra point kicking, and it's good. The score with 10 minutes, 21 seconds remaining in the second quarter. The North 7, the South nothing. We're back with a kickoff in 60 seconds.
It's Chad Parker, right?
Kramer.
Chad Kramer from
Cherokee, Washington.
You got it? Chad, tell me about the touchdown.
This one gave him a sweep and had a point guard out in front of me. I cut behind him and cut back out and then went for the corner of the end zone.
Was that a play you'd worked on in practice much?
Yes, it is.
Did you have a feeling you could pop it?
I know how to feel without daylight out there, without room to run. I know I could do it.
Who got the key block for you?
Rock Owl, our left guard.
And then you got in and you saw it was there?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. With Charlie Schimberg, Cedar Rapids Regis North. Charlie, 2 big runs right there. Tell me first about the first one around the left side. You really knocked some heads.
Well, been kind of slow here lately, and I just wanted to get out and feel the contact and stuff, try and get myself back into it. We had a good cutoff block, and I just saw a little lane and took advantage.
How about the touchdown run, Charlie?
Well, I looked inside and it didn't look a little plug, so I busted it out.
Was there for the North.
The guy had a nice block
reverse play.
Able to shiver him off for a second, and I just found the corner. So.
One final question: you guys feel like the underdogs that you guys kind of come out here?
Everyone's been talking, about Tim Dwight, about how they're going to come out and try and 50-point us and stuff. So, came out here and putting it to them.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Look very good out there. You can make them look very bad.
Chad Paul Kramer is his name. His favorite athlete is Deion Sanders, and here's the kickoff now. It scoots through the hands of Tim Dwight. He picks it up at the 10. Now he scoots out to the left side. He's got 2 men to beat. Here he turns nothing into something, and he gets back out to the 40-yard line, and finally tripped up there by the man that scored the touchdown for the North, Chad Kramer.
Starting on their own 39.
1st and 10 for the South. It looks like Remsburg is back at quarterback. Now he hands off to Tim Dwight. He cuts it. He's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. Some nice defensive penetration there by the defense of the North. First to getting up off the pile is Jason Lurch from Vinton-Schellsburg. Just up the way here from Cedar Rapids. He plays in that strong Class 3A district up there.
And that's Dwight's 6th carry of the ball game. He's picked up 36 yards. Most of that coming on the one play that he got to the outside in the first quarter of 25 yards.
West Des Moines Valley back at quarterback, and here's a handoff, a reverse. It goes to Rodney McQuaid. He's got some blocking out in front of him. He gets enough for a first down across midfield and down to the 48. Great execution, and he had a nice big old tackle out there in front of him. Kenny Williams, 6 foot, 215-pounder from Madrid, leading the way across midfield and into North Territory at the 49.
Well, that's a good play. I mean, it's a good play because you've got Dwight as a decoy. The play starts off with the outside, that you can just see the linebackers and the defensive line starting to flow. And McCoy came from the backside, came back against the grain, and found quite a bit of running room because everybody was pursuing.
The first team leader is this Roddy McCoy. He and Tim Dwight shared that honor this year in the backfield. Back to pass to Remsburg. He looks, he's hit, he's sacked back at the 46-yard line. Laying the sack on him was Scott Wyant from Western Dubuque, but Ryan Plattner from Anamosa was the first to hit him, and Remsburg really had nowhere to go and is sacked for a 4-yard loss. That'll bring up a second down and 14 for the South.
And we just had a complete rotation of ball players on the North team that time. It looked like that they must have hit their 9 plays, and another group comes in.
I'm not keeping track.
I'm not either. I'm taking their word for it. When that many people come in, I'm sure there must be somewhere around 9.
I'm having trouble keeping track anyway. Remsburg back to pass again. He threw for over 2,000 yards a senior year, right over the top to Tim Dwight. And a nice effort by Dwight. Great defensive play there by the North's Tim Noonan from Monticello, but Dwight's speed just pushed him beyond the point of where Noonan was, and he nearly caught the ball.
Well, you know, one of the things that's sort of deceiving about, and this happens all the time, when you see young men with great speed. But when that ball was thrown, I said, oh, this isn't even close. It's going to be at least 5-6 yards over his head. And somehow they have the ability to turn on that afterburner, and all of a sudden that ball was a catchable ball.
You talk about a man by the name of Tim Dwight with an afterburner. Ran a 10.7 100-meter dash earlier this past spring. He won many Drake Relays titles, many Mississippi Valley Conference titles, and he won a number of state titles. And there's another sack on Scott Remsburg. Defensive tackle Jim Scarless from Mason City plays for Dave Holdeman, and Mason City made a nice penetration through Aaron Strawn from Southeast Polk and through Remsburg for another loss, this time of 7 yards.
Well, I tell you what, he's a big young man. He's 6'2", 255 pounds, and showed great agility at that time. They're taking just a little bit too much time throwing the football. They're going to have to throw it a little bit sooner, but you got to credit the defensive secondary at North. They're doing a good job of covering the receivers.
Brings up 4th down and 21, and the punt by Rollmiller, deep one. Rogers takes it on the 15. He scoots out to the left, has some more blocking right down the sideline, and it looks like Tim Dwight is the only man that he has to beat. The 35, the 30. He scoots to the 25, the 20, and Dwight does not get blocked by Jared DeVries of Appleton Parkersburg. He played it so very well that Joel ran by DeVries, and Dwight was able to knock him out of bounds.
Well, I think Joel, that was a great return. He had great blocking up the sideline, but I think he got a little impatient there.
Jim Scarless, Mason City North squad. Jim, you guys are kind of putting your ears back and going after.
Yeah, you know, we're the big underdog in this game, and we just want to come out and show people that we belong out here. We're just all really pumped up right now.
You guys are really getting after it.
Yeah, let's just hope the momentum keeps up.
Punt return following a 46-yard punt. 1st and 10 for the North at the South 16-yard line. At quarterback, again, it's John Elder. Right over the top he goes, and it's in and out of the hands of Scott Herkelman from Hudson. Herkelman, an all-state player from Hudson High School, played on that playoff football team from a year ago. Defended out there on the play is Lawler Twilley from Burlington. Nearly had a completion.
Well, I tell you what, don't you like to see that? They had the big run, took the ball down to the 16-yard line, and then come right back, and they're going for all the marbles. They put the ball in the end zone. So that's exciting. That's what you like to see the coaches do and allow their quarterback to do.
Matt Pelusi and Charlie Schimberg in the backfield, and here's the handoff. It goes to Lance Hall. Penalty marker on the play. He gets run out of bounds. Nice defensive effort by Derek Lane of Atlantic out there. Pelusi and Schimberg, both are all Metro players, and both were all state football players as well. Played in the Mississippi Valley Conference. Pelusi was second in the conference in the Valley in rushing behind Tim Dwight, and a holding call, the preliminary on the North. Just kidding, of course. The 10-yard holding penalty moves the ball back to the 26, gives the South defense a little breathing room. Still 2nd down for the North. Back to pass, and a draw play to Schimberg. He's got some running room across the 20 to the 15, skips down to about the 10, and he can't be drugged down, gets inside the 10 and down to the 6. Very close to a 1st down. Excellent 2nd and 3rd efforts by Charlie Schimberg of Cedar Rapids Regis. They'll finally mark him between the 7 and the 8-yard line, which will put him shy of the 1st down. Picks up 19 yards, he does, and he brings himself a yard shy of a 1st down. It's 3rd down and 1 from the 7-yard line. Here's the handoff. It goes again to Schimberg, and he skips. He's going to get into the left side of the end zone, and he does.
Charlie Schimberg from Cedar Rapids Regis scores a touchdown for the North, and it puts them further up on the South, 13-0. Got to go with that workhorse that gets you that far. You might as well let him capitalize.
Well, that time they lined up in a wishbone offense in the backfield, and the greatest thing is that there was good line play in there by the South, but what Schimberg did a great job of doing is he went up, there wasn't much to the inside, and he bounced it to the outside and took it into the end zone. So a great job of running by Schimberg.
Joe Olson in to do the extra point for the North. Holding is John Elder, and the kick is good. It's 14-0, 6:09 remaining in the first half. We're back with the kickoff in 60 seconds.
Coach Purnell on the North, halftime, 14-0. Coach, you have to be pretty happy.
Our kids have really played well. Coach Mawson has really moved the ball on offense, and we've spent a lot of time on the kicking game this week, and it's really paid off. Our punt returns, the kids are really blocking well.
Pretty good intensity from you.
Yes, I can't fault anything. We've had just really a good first half. We had some kids out of position, but we've had a couple breaks. But, that's all part of the game, and I just hope we can keep our heads up and keep playing hard.
Kurt, what'd you tell your squad at half?
Well, I told them we're getting beat up front. It's the up front people that are taking rides, both offensively and defensively. We just aren't locking on people in the offensive line, and we're kind of standing up and looking around, see what happened on defense, and the counters are killing us. So we just got to get off the football and play a little more aggressive.
Look for that to happen.
Hopefully so. Thank you.
Yard line. The South with some good field position to begin another series of drives, and the tackle made by Brian Billick from South O'Brien. 1st and 10 for the South at about the 32-yard line. 6 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. The North leading the South 14-0. At quarterback for the South, it's Remsburg again with Tim Dwight, his left offensive back. And here's the pass. It's knocked down by the right side of that defensive line of the North. Ryan Plattner from Anamosa with a big knockdown. Plattner played for John Davids at Anamosa, and I think some of the coach's comments by John Davids was that he was a very dedicated weightlifter and got very strong and led by example on the field, and Anamosa had some pretty good success the last couple of years. He was a first-team All-District academic, and he was an honorable mention All-State from the Associated Press as a defensive end, and there he showed his ability. Brings up a 2nd down and 10 after the batted pass. Here's the pitch back. It goes to McQuaid. He's got some running room. Now he's cut off, and a nice defensive effort. Maurice Blue, first-team leader from Cedar Rapids, Washington. He'll be headed to Northern Iowa this fall to play for Coach Terry Allen.
Well, right now you've got a fired up North defense, and they've got 2 touchdowns, and they're excited about this game. And at this particular point,
Up to 3rd and 12 to the 29-yard line.
Frank, the biggest play that they've had was the play that we mentioned earlier in the game, the 25-yard run by Tim Dwight. But since then, between penalties and sort of miscues, they just haven't been able to sustain any type of offensive play.
3rd down and 12. Here's Remsburg rolling out to his left, gets some rush from behind. It's DeVries. The ball is up in the air, and it's caught by one of the offensive linemen, and they're going to call it in the grasp, I believe. Jared DeVries made a nice effort from his left defensive end position. Nice last 3 or 4 steps that were so quick to keep Remsburg from getting rid of the ball. It'll bring up a 4th down, 13 for the South. In to do the punting, Carter Rollmiller from Dallas Center Grimes. Back to receive the punt, of course, is Joel Rogers, along with Andrew Paulson from Waverly Shell Rock. And as we mentioned, Joel with 3 very good punt returns.
Might be time to punt it away from him. What do you think?
Well, I suppose that'd be the logical thinking, and they do just that. It goes to Andrew Paulson at the 40. He reads out to the left. He's got a couple blockers. No, he's going to be a jersey tackle. Nice effort because, again, Lonnie, we see the picket fence set up all over the place. Miguel Luna from Des Moines Lincoln may have saved another big punt return.
Well, you're right, because the wall was set. The one thing is that what we talked about earlier, that seam right on the corner that you try to break to the outside. And that time, he was about 1 step away from being able to get across and get to that seam, and then he was able to pick up the ball. So they've got to be careful from the standpoint. The South has got to be careful because this has been probably the big offensive weapon.
It's a 1st and 10 from the 35, 4.5 remaining. This could put the game away. I don't want to be too premature. It's Mark Weaver handing off right up the middle to Chris Rooney, and the big fullback bowls his way across the 45 out to the 48. Finally, he's brought down by Aaron Egbert of Mediapolis and Aaron Bauman from Carroll Community, but not before he picked up another first down for his size. And we noticed this last year. He's got some great wheels.
Well, he's got great speed, and as you mentioned, his size, he's 6'2", 220 pounds, and we're watching a pretty healthy Rooney run tonight, Chris Rooney run from Sioux City Healing. So, yes, he's a horse, and he's one of those guys you can give the ball to an awful lot during the ball game.
Rooney remains in the ball game. It's trips right formation with him at the slide. Now he'll go into motion. He'll be a blocker. They're going to hand the ball off. It looks like it's Joel, and he'll go nowhere. Nice defensive effort out there. Steve English from Mount Pleasant, who will be playing his college football at the University of Iowa next year, shut down the hole that Joel Rogers thought maybe was there.
Well, the play sort of starts off to the inside, and then it's sort of the back has the judgment. It's a little bit of a run to daylight type of play. Sometimes that play will open up to the inside, sometimes to the outside. That time is just very well defensed, and wasn't much running room for Rogers to go, but just hit to the outside and try to get the ball back to line of scrimmage, which he wasn't able to do.
Loss of 2 on the play. Second down and 12 from the 45. We're down to 3:20 remaining in the first half. Rooney again in motion with Rogers the only back. Now we have a reverse. It goes to Kramer. He scored on a 13-yard reverse earlier, and this time he gets across midfield and penalty markers fly once again from the umpire. We may have a blocking below the waist, and Lonnie, again, that's one of the restrictions you talked about in this game.
Yeah, that's one of the things, and that's obviously put in there for protection of the kids. We're playing an all-star game, and they certainly do not want to have any of the kids that come away with an ankle or knee injury in this ball game. So that's why they keep the blocking above the waist, and I think it's a very good rule, and most everyone, it's not a problem. I mean, the kids respect the rule, and generally when something like this happens, it's only because a young man has been able to slip or fall or
around the 37-yard line.
It's never done on purpose.
Now the holding call was taken from the spot of the infraction, and it'll be an 8-yard loss. So it brings up second down and 20 from the 37-yard line of the North. Mark Weaver in at quarterback with Rogers the lone setback, and now penalty markers again fly. May have a delay of game on the North this time, pushing themselves back to second down and 20. The South trailing by 2 touchdowns. They need to take advantage of every possible thing they can. David Wyford is split out to the left, and it's a trips right formation, and now here's a draw play to Joel Rogers. As you mentioned, he's got some running room. He skips back across the 35, may get out to about the 40. Finally, he's drugged down by Corey Kluver from Ankeny. Also in on that is Carter Rollmiller from Dallas Center Grimes, and Joel does a very good job of picking back some of that yardage, but it does bring up a 3rd and long.
Brings up a 3rd and long, but it brought him about 7 yards on that play.
Yes.
And that got him 7 yards up, but gets him up almost to the 40-yard line. And I'm sure what they'd like to do right now is if they can pick up another 5, 6, 7 yards, then they can punt and make them start and move the ball at least 80 yards.
2.5 minutes remaining in the first half of play. It's 14-0. The North leading the South. Mark Weaver at quarterback. It's Rogers and Kell in there, and the handoff is to the fullback Kell, and he's drugged down. And Chad Beals from Columbus Junction plays for Warren Wepking down in Columbus. Longtime football coach. He knows what it's like to win down at Columbus. Young man there coming from Columbus and taking Kell down for no gain on the play. So it'll bring up a 4th down and 18 from right outside the 40-yard line. Olsen now in to do the punting for the North. Here's the high snap. He does bring it down. He kicks it. And it's a not so high a punt. A fair catch is being called for and taken at about the 26-yard line by Aaron Egbert from Mediapolis. And so the South, with just 1:55 remaining in the first half of play, they need to get on the board before halftime, Lonnie, and it's of utmost importance at this point. Otherwise, they'll be digging themselves a big hole.
Well, yeah, it's they're sitting right now. They got 1:55, but the thing is that they've got an explosive offense, and they've got an opportunity, to break a play. I mean, of course, the obvious thing is that if Dwight is in the ball game, if they can find him the ball someplace on the field and give him some running room, he can make a lot happen. He's in the ball game, so don't be surprised if you see him get the ball in some place.
Absolutely. He'll be headed to the University of Iowa this year to help Coach Hayden Fry in that backfield. Back to pass. It's Remsburg. The ball is batted, and then it's caught. It actually was tipped, and then it was caught into the hands of Michael Berger from Harlan. It's not going to get them very much. The ball did not, player did not get out of bounds, so the clock will not stop, and it's a short gain.
1-yard gain. That was thrown to the outside. And as you mentioned, Jerry, it was tipped. Those big linemen are putting their hands up in the air and making it awful difficult for Remsburg to get the ball up and over their hands.
3-yard pickup on the pass play. Remsburg back to pass, gets a rush from DeVries, and the ball is thrown downfield, and a nice defensive effort out there. Jeff Swenson from Spencer. The pass was intended for Matt Young of Indianola, knocked down. Remsburg got some heat from Jared DeVries just to his left. If he'd have waited, and I'm sure he probably felt the heat and got rid of it as soon as he could.
Well, you can't help but feel a little heat because he's been nailed 2 or 3 times from the backside. And so I'm sure that he was hearing a few footsteps, and I think from a quarterback standpoint, that's always tough. If you get hit once or twice from the backside, for the rest of the ball game, you're going to hear footsteps.
A little late, aren't you, Don? Don Knock from Cedar Rapids Kennedy is up here, and Don, stick around here. We want to chat with you. We're nearing halftime. It's a minute 20 to go. It brings up a 3rd down and 7 from the 29. Now Portinger returns a quarterback play action back to pass, and nice rush by DeVries, and the pass is thrown over the top. Don Knock from Cedar Rapids Kennedy has joined us. Don, thanks for bringing that profile up here. It's nice and prompt in delivery.
I'm here, Jerry.
How you doing?
Nice night, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. You'd take this in November, wouldn't you?
Oh, this is excellent. I'll tell you what, well-played ball game. Kids are doing a great job. Great fans filling the place standing here, so good crowd.
Well, tell me a little bit about Jim Thornton.
Jimmy's a great kid. He went to Australia on this little thing they had. Played some football down there, and he's really in good shape. He's really looking forward to going to Central Missouri State, and I think he's doing a heck of a job in here tonight. He really looks good out there in his uniform.
Yeah, well, tell me a little bit about Central Missouri State. Just a second here. Joel Rogers receives the fair catch at about the 32, and so the North with a minute 7 will have a 1st and 10 and maybe another shot of some scoring here. Don, tell me a little bit about Central Missouri State.
Central Missouri State is a Division II school. It's in Warrensburg, Missouri, which is just south of Kansas City, about 30 miles, and they play in that directional school league in Missouri, the Northeast and Northwest, Southern Baptist, and their Pittsburgh State out of Kansas. Very competitive league. Jim had an offer from UNI and also from Central Missouri State. A little bit better deal out of Central Missouri State, and I think that's why he ended up going down there.
He's a nice big kid. He really played well for you last year in the offensive and defensive lines, I imagine.
He sure did. He had a good year for us, and he's a mainstay. And in fact, I talked to a number of coaches, and they said they ran away from him. So that says an awful lot for the kid.
Okay, very good. Now, well, the summer's almost over, Don, and it's about ready for another football season.
This is officially it. This starts it off, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. You keep taking those steps, getting further and further each year. Last year at the semifinals, certainly you got to be hoping and looking forward that all your players are working hard in the off season. Maybe that 4A state championship ain't so far away.
Well, it's a goal every year, and I'll tell you what, a great year last year. Especially with losing O'Shea in the 9th game, and Kellogg coming in and doing a great job for us at quarterback. And we had a lot of great kids, and we lose a lot of great kids. And that's part of coaching, replacing those kids and getting them ready to play. And we're looking forward to it. Our kids are working hard, and I think we're going to have some kids show up ready to play. There's a runner right there, and that kid's something else.
Charlie Schimber.
I'll show you him in a minute.
Now, what's the status on Charlie? Do you know, Don? Is he headed to college somewhere for the next season that you're aware of?
Is that Charlie?
Charlie, yeah.
Yeah, he's headed to college. I know he had a brother that went to Luther.
He's going to Drake.
He's going to Drake.
So we're down to about 19 seconds to go, and the North has really not been able to do much here since they got the football. They took a timeout here. It's 14-0. The North is leading. And in at quarterback is the young Elder kid, John Elder Jr. from Sioux City West. And as I'd mentioned, he's headed to Nebraska to play for Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. A full-ride scholarship. That's pretty good honor for a quarterback like that. Here's the handoff to Charlie Schimberg. He skips out to the left side, and he's cut off now, drugged down across midfield. Nice play by Michael Babbitt from Nishna Valley to bring him down, but he'll pick up, approximately 7 yards. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 3.
1 second, and there's the end of the first half, Jerry.
And the obnoxious hum in your radio is the horn here at Kingston Stadium. A nice crowd on hand, giving him a standing ovation for some great all-star performances here tonight in the 22nd annual Shriners All-Star Hall of Fame football game. Bob Byers, the general manager of the Shriners All-Star football game, and as he mentioned during our pregame, it takes a lot of work to organize all of this. The fundraising, of course, with all the money going to the Children's Shriners Hospitals for Children, and they've raised over $985,000 in the last 21 years. And with this year's attendance and the money that will be made at the gates, the contribution to the Shriners Hospitals for the children's program will certainly top $1 million, and it just keeps getting better and better every year. We'll have in almost all of them but the 200. Here we go to start the second half. Olson's kick is a squibber along the ground. They're going to keep it away from Tim Dwight as much as possible, and it's picked up there by the tight end Berger from Harlan. He's going to roll out to his left. He's got some running room, and finally is going to be tripped up underneath. Nice effort by Josh Dodd from Northwood, Kansas to trip up Michael Berger on his kickoff return.
Dodd did a great job of snuffing over to the outside, because if he could have turned up there's a little bit of running room up the sideline. So tripping up back on about the 32-yard line, so they've got a long ways to go.
First and 10 here for the South unit as Scott Remsburg from West Des Moines Valley. He returns. West Des Moines Valley with a new football coach this year. Mike Woodley, who coached at Davenport, he coached at St. Ambrose in Davenport the last 4 years. Now will take over for Lee Crawford at Valley. Scott Remsburg from the Valley, a very good athlete out there, played basketball and football. Quick pitch back, it goes to Tim Dwight, and he skips out of bounds. Nice defensive effort. Maurice Blue. It was interesting, I had a chance to speak with Wally Sheets from Cedar Rapids, Washington. Now, Washington didn't play against City High last year, and he said the first things that he said to me was that Maurice Blue cannot wait to be able to hit Tim Dwight.
I think got his opportunity.
He sure did.
Did a good job. Stopped the play for about a play, or if any, just maybe a half a yard.
Closed him in on the sideline, the far sideline. Maurice Blue playing the linebacker position in a 4-3. It looks like a college 4-3 on defense for the North. Also in there, Jim Thornton from Cedar Rapids Kennedy, a defensive tackle. Here's McQuay in motion, the handoff from Remsburg, and he makes a nice move. It doesn't go anywhere, and Thornton from Kennedy, just mentioned him, gets an arm tackle on McQuay, wraps him up and throws him for a loss.
Tackle made by 75.
Jim Thornton, he's from Cedar Rapids Kennedy. He's 6'3", 250 pounds. He's a horse in there. They've got some great size across the front. And their Schroeder is 6'1", 250. You've got Scott Wyant from Western Dubuque at 6'3", 255. And Scarlett 6'2", 255 from Mason City. So they've got some horses on the inside there.
Absolutely, a trips right formation for the South team. In motion is Tim Dwight out to the left. Remsburg with a long count. Here's the snap, a quick one. He's going to go right across the middle. He goes to Berger, the tight end. He's skipping down the sideline. He's got a block from Tim Dwight, but a jersey tackle will bring Berger down just in front of the South bench, the South sideline. Nice tackle and maybe a touchdown-saving tackle by Matt Greiman from Garner Hayfield.
That was into the outside.
good run. 22-yard pass completion from Remsburg to Michael Berger. Now the option play, and the handoff goes right up the middle. It looks like it's. We'll have to wait and see until they unpile the ball carrier, Miguel Luna from Des Moines Lincoln, and he'll pick up 3 tough yards. The North, Wayne Anderson from Benton Community out here in the left corner. He's also joined by strong safety Matt Miller from Southern Cal High School. A twins formation right. Dwight lines up now in a trips formation in the flank. Remsburg remains at quarterback. Here's the screen pass out to the right. It goes, and quickly snuffed out by the North. The pass was completed to Matt Braddock from Tipton from Remsburg, and he just really had nowhere to go. Nice defensive effort by Scott Wyant from Western Dubuque. And 7, the ball remains at the 44-yard line. Great, I'd call it penetration, but it's just a great lateral movement by the entire left side of that defensive portion of the North defense. Twins formation right and a split left. It's split backfield. It's Dwight rolling out to the left. It's Remsburg. Back to pass. Over the top he goes. He has a wide open Michael Berger, and he overthrows him. Berger kind of was lost as he was running downfield, and then Remsburg. And I think that particular play right there alone shows some of the inexperience that they have in playing with one another.
Well, I think
4th down and 7 from the 44. Yet best penetration by the South tonight. Here's the kick by Rollmiller, high but very short, and Andrew Paulson going to call for a fair catch at the 15, and he falls to the ground. It will give him his forward progress just inside the 15 at approximately the 14-yard line. Nevertheless, the North will take over. 11:53 remaining in the third quarter, leading 14-0. It's a Central Missouri State Conference, I suppose, in Division II. 1st and 10 for the North at quarterback. It's the Sioux City West quarterback, and the handoff would go nowhere. Looks like Joel Rogers might be in there, and he got smothered under. Great defensive effort. 3-yard loss on the play back to the 12. It brings up 2nd down and 13. Elder at quarterback with an eye backfield. Rogers is the tailback. Here's the handoff to Rogers. Stuffed again right in the middle of that defensive line. This time the South will not be penetrated. Todd Scott from Newton in there to make the stop for the South. Did a nice job of standing up the center. Heard out there, defensive back from Davenport Central had an interception in the first half. Also in there is Derek Lane from Atlantic. Here's the rollout by Elder. Now he's going to be snowed under by Todd Scott from Newton, and then he's hit even harder. Nice defensive effort, just like bumblebees out there. Steve English in there as well as B.J. Donahoe from West Des Moines Dowling laying a nice hit on Elder.
Well, I think that time he came out and looked like he wanted to throw the football, but if his receiver down the field was not on the same wavelength because he was blocking the corner, so maybe it was just a disguise trying to throw the football.
Here's Olson's punt. It's high and very short. Lance Hall calls for the fair catch right inside midfield at the 49-yard line. Pretty good punt by Olson from Dubuque Senior, again kicking it away from Tim Dwight. That was a 5-yard loss on the sack by Elder. It was fourth and 18. And now the South will take over inside of North Territory. Once again, they need to get on the scoreboard. They trail 14-0, 9:54 remaining in the third period of play. This is the 22nd annual El Cajere Shriners All-Star High School Football game. Matt Chapman from Creston in the right guard and Ryan Walter from Prairie at the right tackle. Here's the handoff. It goes to Kell, and he'll go nowhere. Mike Kell from Council Bluffs Lewis Central has had some pretty good runs, especially in the first half. But his last 4 or 5, he really has been shut down by the North defense.
And the ball back to their offense in great field position, so they need to make something happen.
Mark Portinga in at quarterback. Dan Batos from Missouri Valley in motion. Portinga, a nice play action pass over the top. He goes to the young man, Dan Batos from Missouri Valley. How many times does that work, Lonnie? Where you send him in motion, send him on the flat, and he's wide open?
Well, that was a well-executed play. Came back, made a nice move, good fake action, and then they slipped him up and flipped. That was number 8. No.
Batos, yes, Dan Batos.
Batos went out into the flat, and it was a well-positioned pass. There was a defensive man in front of him, there was a defensive man behind him. He found the seam right between the corner and the linebacker, and put the ball right on the spot, picked up the first down.
17-yard pickup. Batos from Missouri Valley will be heading to Simpson College to play his college football for Coach Jim Williams and the Storm. Portinga back to pass, 1st and 10, and the ball is tipped away by Chris Knipper. I think Knipper was surprised that the ball was thrown where it was. Again, it was intended for Batos, and Knipper got a hand on it and knocked it down.
Once again, they're going to play action into the inside, and what they were trying to do is get the linebacker to overrun the play and then slip the football inside of it. And he was looking out to his left or to the right side of the field, and the ball was slipped a little bit to the inside. So a good defensive effort, and you're probably right, Jerry. He maybe was a little surprised on it.
Chris Knipper, Dyersville Beckman high school standout that will be headed to the University of Iowa on a full ride scholarship to play defensive end for Coach Hayden Fry. Here's the pitch back to Kell. Penalty flags go down. It looks like we might have holding or some kind of a blocking below the waist call, but we'll wait and find out. That's going to nullify a really nice pickup by Kell.
Yeah, it was. It was a good play out on the outside. Moved well. Got some running room to the outside, but I think you're right, Jerry. It's either going to be holding or blocking below the waist.
Here comes the preliminary signal from the referee. Blocking below the waist. Have to maintain the protection of all of the players, and that's not just a special rule applied for this game. That happens in your regular season high school football action.
And it's for the kids. There's probably sometimes don't mention this, but there's probably a whole bunch of college coaches out there that recruit these young men that are holding their breath tonight, hoping that each one of these kids come out of this ball game without any serious injury.
Absolutely. The ball now will be marked on the 46-yard line, a 14-yard holding penalty. 2nd down and 24 for the South. Portinga remains at quarterback. In there on offense, Gary Mayfield from Davenport Assumption. And I believe the handoff went to Mayfield. Tell you what, that North defense, like the South defense, is a very fired up bunch. They're not going to give up any of their own turf, especially when they're on their turf inside the 50-yard line.
Well, I tell you what, that time great penetration. I'll tell you what, you handed the ticket when it went by you.
3rd down and 25 for the South. Portinga at quarterback. Actually, it looks like it's Remsburg back in. It is. He's going to throw. He's looking for McQuay. They're going to go right over the top, and it's a little bit too far. Defending on the play for the North is DeAndre Jones from Waterloo East. Plays his high school football for Brian Jones with the Trojans up at Waterloo East. Nice pass by Remsburg. One of those that you probably could use back in the first half, maybe to give a little cushion.
Well, they're able to get the receiver over, but I mean, it's a good defense that's played out on the corner, and it had to be a perfect pass. And right now, it's very difficult to get the timing down that they need between the receiver and the quarterback.
An illegal procedure penalty against the South was declined by the North. Brings up a 4th down and 24, and once again, it's time for a punt by the South. Carter Rollmiller from Dallas Center Grimes has got a lot of work in tonight defensively and punting. Joel Rogers and Andrew Paulson back to receive it. It will be an end-over-end kick that will roll. Takes a high bounce and takes a lateral roll inside the 20, down at the 19-yard line. And it was down by Miguel Luna from Des Moines Lincoln. And it'll be first and 10 for the North on their own 19-yard line. 7:58 to go in the third quarter, 14-0, the North leading.
Well, the South had good penetration that time. They got the ball down inside the 30-yard line and had things going for them. But then that block below the waist moved everything back, and so they ended up really with, I'm not sure on that, Jerry, but it looked like it probably was fourth down and a good 20, 25 yards.
Absolutely. Mark Weaver back in at quarterback. Clay Metzger from West Lyon is his center. Joel Rogers remains at tailback. Here's the handoff. It goes to Rogers, and once again, the white defense, the South defense, not allowing anything to get through them. Rogers will pick up about 2 yards on the play.
Well, their defense, they pretty much held in the second half to negative yardage. The North has not been able to move the ball or get anything going in the second half. So credit that South defense. They've come out in the second half and they've said, hey, let's do it. Let's give the ball their offense and get a good field position.
Chad Rocco from Forest City and Todd Stevenson from Eagle Grove both in there on the left side of that offensive line for the North. Here's the handoff. It goes to Charlie Schimberg. Hit at the line of scrimmage, and he does fall forward just a little bit, and then they drive him back. Jace Smirka from Clinton was the first to meet Schimberg. He'll pick up approximately 2 yards. Bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the North squad. Out to the 24-yard line, the North leading 14-0, and as we mentioned, did it basically on 3 Joel Rogers great punt returns. Chad Kramer followed one with a 13-yard touchdown run, and the other was followed by Charlie Schimberg, 7-yard touchdown run, both set up by great punt returns from Joel Rogers. 6:25 remaining in the third quarter. Mark Weaver at quarterback from West Delaware. Here's the handoff, and a nice defensive play by the South, not allowing anything to penetrate. Schimberg was the ball carrier. Joel Hallbrook from Sadell was the defender on the play that stopped Schimberg for a 1-yard gain. That'll bring up 4th and 4 from the 25.
Well, that's a pretty conservative call for Coach Purnell. But
were you expecting more?
Well, I sort of thought I'd see a play action, pass or something in that situation. But I'm sure he's playing a little closer than Delk. Doesn't want to give this game away.
And Olsen with a nice punt, and it's received by Aaron Egbert from Mediapolis. And now we're going to have a penalty marker thrown. Nice call by the official on the sideline. Egbert had been bumped out of bounds, and he was 2 yards out of bounds when he was drilled. And Egbert is still down on the sidelines. He looks like he's going to make it to his feet. Probably got the wind knocked out of him. Here he goes. Better not run too fast because they might recruit him for track a little bit. He's a 100-yard dash champion, ran the 200, and he won the 400, and he anchored the 4x100-meter relay team at Mediapolis to win.
Had a busy day, didn't he?
I'll tell you what, he was looking for Tim Dwight. Nevertheless, 1st and 10 following the 15-yard penalty on the unnecessary roughness call against the North, and obviously nothing malicious on that part of the North player. Just one of those aggressive hits.
It's one of those things where you come down and you load it up and you get ready to throw the tackle or throw the block, and sometimes you just don't have the ability to watch that out of bounds and know exactly where things are at.
Remsburg, the quarterback, to pitch back to Tim Dwight a little behind him, and he cuts off to the right side. He fumbles the football, and it looks like the North may have recovered. Tim Dwight took a shot as he jumped over top of a would-be tackler. He took a shot to the side and dropped the football. That's a rare occurrence on Tim Dwight's part. Maurice Blue from Wash. There he is.
At least he's the one that looks like he's the most excited there on the sideline.
He's always excited, Lonnie. You never can tell.
Well, it was a big break for the North squad. South had picked up a little momentum there, and it looked like maybe they had a good position to take it in.
The North leading 14-0, and it's Elder back to pass on the rollout. He's got a lot of running room. He's going to take it across the yard stripe. He goes into midfield territory, now into South territory, across the 45, down to the 44. I'll tell you, Lonnie, two good things happened there. The receivers did their job, and Elder followed it.
You're right. He came out to the outside, did a good, it was a little bootleg action fake, the counter action coming back to the side, came out and he ended up with a ton of room, and did a great job. He looked down the field, didn't see his receivers, saw he recovered a little bit, and he saw the running route, got the ball under his arm, picked it up, looked like he picked up about 16, 17 yards.
16-yard pickup by the quarterback that'll head to the University of Nebraska next year to play for Tom Osborne. It's John Elder, who is from Sioux City West High School. Back to pass. It's Elder out to the left flat. He goes, a very dangerous pass. It was intended for Lance Hall. Covering on the play for the South is Michael Babbitt from Nishna Valley.
That was one of those passes that step up and you throw it almost down the line of scrimmage to the outside with an out pattern by your flanker or your wingback. And it's one of those ones where you know the heartbeat sort of picks up a little bit and you hold your breath and hope that there's not somebody sitting back there reading the quarterback's eyes and on a sprint, because if it's intercepted, it's 6 points for the other team.
Absolutely. Elder remains the quarterback. 2nd and 10, 4:55 to go in the third quarter. Elder rolling out to his left. A nice pass off the run to his left. He gets it completed to Lance Hall inside the 40 down to the 39, and a nice hit out there for the South. It's Michael Babbitt and Todd McGinnis from Shenandoah that make the stop, but not before Lance Hall gains a reception down to the 38-yard line. It will be a pickup of 6.
They found a nice little play action play here where they're using Elder. He's able to fake a little counter action back where the counter action play by the running back. He comes out in a nice little boot. He's getting a lot of time and he's able to take a pretty good look at the field.
Well, he's managing his field well, Elder. He's going to be a business major when he goes to Nebraska. Here's the handoff. It goes to Joel Rogers and he cuts back. He has some speed himself. He's down to the 10, the 5, and he's into the end zone for the score. Joel Rogers on a 38-yard touchdown run that started right. He cut left. He slid between the linebacker and defensive back, and he was off to pay dirt.
Well, that's his specialty. That's what he does extremely well. And they had a defense in a short yardage situation, and he has a great ability to go to the outside and found a little bit of hole, cut it back across the field. And you're right, he has deceptive speed. He doesn't look like he's moving quite as fast as what he really is, but in a case like that, all you have to do is just watch the distance that he puts between himself and the defenders. It was a good run, good play.
38-yard pickup. Multi-purpose yards belong to Joel Rogers tonight. He had 3 great punt returns and now a 38-yard touchdown run. Olsen into the field goal, exploit kicking, the fake by Elder. He's rolling out to his right, and he's going to throw the ball, and he gets it to Chris Knipper, and I don't see a penalty marker. And Knipper, there is a penalty marker on the play. We'll see what happens. Maybe a lineman downfield.
I'll tell you what, you need to put that in on the believe it or not.
Absolutely.
I mean, he came down and it looked like he was going down, going into the end zone, looked like he wanted to run, and then he looked like he was tackled, and I'm almost sure that they're probably going to call him down, but maybe not.
Well, the penalty marker might be for over the line of scrimmage. They're going to take it back to the 3-yard line. He was across the line of scrimmage when he threw the football. He may have crossed the line of scrimmage and then came back, Lonnie, is probably what happened. They're going to mark it back. So it'll be a field goal attempt, extra point attempt from the 15-yard line with Joel Olsen. I imagine at this point they might try to kick that. 20-0, the North leading the South. Tell you what, Morningside College is going to get one outstanding athlete. His brother Kelly played in last year's Shriners football game, and both of those young men played for their father, Ted Rogers, who is your brother. Lonnie, you said something about putting in that potent wishbone attack. We'll get to that in just a moment. Olsen kick is good at 21-0. 4:04 remaining in the third quarter. We'll return with a kickoff in 60 seconds.
Stuff he put it back, and then he's done a lot with it. He's put a lot of it around. It's turned into be a great offense for him over the years.
Aaron Egbert with the kickoff return at the 12, and he's hit. Nice tackle by the North. First to get him out there was Chris Knipper from Dyersville Beckman, who put him on his back. And speaking of Ted, he just retired from football coaching a year ago, turned the reins over to Doug Defoe, a former player of his, and Ted going to watch on the sidelines now and watch one of his pupils continue the program that's been started.
Well, you probably won't be able to spend as much time at some point because I think he's going to probably be in Fargo, North Dakota, or
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
A long drive across Iowa to see his son play. Now an illegal procedure penalty will be whistled against Michael Berger of Harlan. Got off this a little bit quick. He's, that's got to be an interesting matchup when he looks across the way and sees Jared DeVries in front of him.
Well, one of the great things I think that happens here when you have an all-star game like this North-South game, because there's so many times that the 4A schools get a lot of the spotlight. Illegal procedure penalty against a lot of the spotlight I'd like to sort of find out is when you put them all together here, there's some outstanding football players that come out of the 1A and the 2A and the A program in the state of Iowa. And it's great if you have a chance to showcase their best.
Here's Tim Dwight on the reverse, and Ryan Walter, I should say Jim Thornton from Cedar Rapids Kennedy, has seen plenty of those in his playing days, and he put to the ground the ball carrier.
I'll tell you what, if I was coming back on a reverse and Jim Thornton at 6'3", 215 pounds was coming at me, I think I might take a dive.
Absolutely. Hit the deck before you get put to the deck.
I was going to say, I don't think I'd want to meet him.
No gain on the play. Actually, it was a loss on the play. It was a 1st and 15 following the illegal procedure penalty. We're back to the 20, a 4-yard loss on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 19 with the ball right on the 20. Back to pass. It's Remsburg. He pumps. He goes right over the top, and he's got Berger running downfield, and again, he can't get anywhere. Great coverage by Ryan Durst from Northwood Kensett on that corner, that hard corner. Followed Berger all the way down the sideline.
Well, it's right now. They know that they're pretty much, you end up with a 3rd down.
3rd and 19.
Second down, and that majority. You've got your defensive backs, and I'm just watching down marks from coaches. They're all of them are going step back, step back, step back. So they're going to give them plenty of cushion, and they're going to let them catch the football in front of them, because the only thing that can hurt them at this particular point is a long time. And they're going to make them show it.
38-yard touchdown run by Joel Rogers here in the second half has given the North a 21-0 lead. Here's Remsburg with the draw to Tim Dwight, looking for a place to go. Skips to the outside. He's cut off. Nice spin move. He's taken down by Maurice Blue, but he did a great job of eluding Matt Miller from Southern Cal. I imagine Matt Miller hasn't seen a move like that in his high school days.
Well, I think it's one of those things when you play. Dwight has outstanding ability, obviously, what he's going to do. But you've got to give this North a ton of credit. I mean, they've done a great job that time. They kept him from getting to the outside, forcing him back into the inside, but they had some time. So I mean, it's a good job.
Here's Rollmiller with the punt, and it's nearly blocked by Knipper. Nice high punt, and Andrew Paulson calls for the fair catch, takes it at the 47-yard line. And there, the North, with a commanding 21-0 lead, will have a chance to push for some more at 2:07 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
You know, you see the big play. Usually in those cases, when something happens that allows the individual to get that big run.
Mark Weaver at quarterback. They're still trying the inside of that offensive line, the defensive line of the South, and nothing doing. We'll get the ball carry for you. It's Joel Rogers, and he is stopped out there by John Barlow from Carlisle. It'll be no gain for Rogers, so he being the workhorse, a 38-yard touchdown run and 3 great punt returns. He's fulfilling his night as an all-star.
Well, they've come out, they've picked that stuff to the inside and little action, and then what they've ended up doing is they come with a little bootleg action to the outside.
Here's Weaver now on the roll to the left. He has a wide open Chris Rooney. Finds him. He catches it. He's inside the 40, down to the 35, and the big bruising fullback runs into his own player as well, and before he's drugged down by Todd McGinnis from Shenandoah, but not before Rooney picks up a 1st down. That's a nice outlet for any quarterback or football team when you're kind of in a distressful situation. Get it to the big fullback and let him bowl his way.
Well, you know, Elvis got 6'3", 135 pounds. And, he's able to flip to the outside and does a great job of finding receivers downfield. It's nice size to be able to slip to the outside like that. He's got an opportunity to see the whole field, and he's got great voice back. He finds weights, he finds his receiver, puts the ball right on the money.
1st and 10 from the 35. It was an 18-yard pass completion from Weaver to Rooney. In motion is Lance Hall. It's an eye backfield. Here's the reverse play to Lance Hall. He's around the 30, inside the 25-yard line, and finally drugged to the ground by Matt Casebolt from Albia. Matt Casebolt, the son of John Casebolt, a great quarterback and defensive back from Albia. He's going to be going to Cornell College this fall to play for Steve Miller, probably a quarterback, and has a very good chance of playing for Miller in that veer offense that Miller has at Cornell.
Yeah, Jerry, I apologize. That was Mark Weaver, number 90 quarterback that came out. Had the wrong numbers there, but everything that I said goes, he just did a great job moving to the outside. He's 6'1", 180 pounds.
9-yard pickup by Hall on that last carry brings up a 2nd and 1 from the 26, 4 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Weaver with the sprint out to the right. He got some receivers. Right down the middle he goes, and a pass that's complete. Nice catch by Jason Gengerke from Spirit Lake, and Weaver had about 3 to pick from And a great quarterback as Weaver is, threw for over 4,000 yards in his career while playing for Dave Jacobson at West Delaware. Weaver with a nice pass inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line. And again, it's the North looking for more.
Well, that's a great pass, great action. Great job of throwing that tackle ball.
First and goal now from the 6-yard line, a 20-yard pass completion to Gengerke. Weaver at quarterback, and it's the wishbone. And now we have some movement on the offensive line, getting just a little bit antsy. You know, it's the one thing, Lonnie, to get up there and maybe take the snap count right now, because those players are antsy with the ball that close to the goal line?
Well, generally when you go down there, maybe, yes, I would. Normally I'd try to go on.
Illegal procedure penalty against the North.
I definitely wouldn't go on a tour.
5-yard penalty, first and goal at 12.
Are excited, the train's going down, and when they get a little bit closer, they're ready to, they want to jump, they want to get going. And the best thing to do is just go up there and let them do that.
Illegal procedure penalty against the North, moves the ball back to the 11-yard line. It's still first and goal from the 11. Here's Weaver with a handoff. It goes to Charlie Schimberg, and he gets a couple of tough yards and then is stacked up in the defensive side of things. Andy Lawrence from Solon, one of the first to hit him. And there's that obnoxious horn to end the quarter. It's a 21-0 lead for the North over the South in the 22nd annual Shriners All-Star High School football game. We'll have the fourth period of play in 60 seconds.
Got it now? Got it? Okay, with Steve English, Mount Pleasant, South Squad. Steve, you guys have come out with a lot more intensity.
Yeah, we figured that we kind of went kind of soft in the first half.
Weaver been playing the whole
We came out and decided this is war. We got to come out here and win this one.
You were getting after it.
Oh yeah, you got to kick it in another gear when you get in the second half.
No, he hasn't.
It's a big half for a lot of teams.
But the last three.
Oh man,
yeah. Last three have been hit.
I think this is the first series that Weaver's seen since about the first series that he was in. Because I know Elder was out there in the third quarter.
I think he got one early in the third quarter.
Joel Rogers, center point, Urbana North. Joel, tell me about the run.
Where's Weaver going to
Well,
find out.
North offensive line is doing their job. That's all I can say. We've really stepped it up a notch. Just having a lot of fun out here. That's the key of the game.
You cut it back across. Was that to get to the outside?
You bet it was. My
All-Star
specialty.
football game from Kingston Stadium. I'm Jerry Koala. Lonnie Rogers is along with me to talk a little bit about Mark Weaver. It'll be a
Chad Rocco, Forest City North. Chad, you guys are doing a job up front in the line.
Yeah, it's a great feeling to be able to get off the line and really knock some guys down and let the backs make their cuts and let them get out the field and run.
Coming in this, a lot of people were talking about the South was the team to beat in this game.
Yeah, and it's great to be the underdog because no one expects you to step it up, and we really stick it to them, and we play as a team, and that's what it takes. The offensive line is really stuck together. It's been a tough week, but we got it together, and now we're just shining in the light.
Who else in the line, Chad, is knocking heads with you up front?
Just everybody on our team, man. It's a team effort.
Thanks, Chad.
Yep.
Maurice Blue, Cedar Rapids, Washington North team. Maurice, you're doing some sticking out there.
Yeah, I think our defense is ready. We came out ready, they didn't. And it's showing. We're sticking their nut. They can't handle it.
You've seemed to take this kind of a personal challenge, Maurice.
Oh, yeah, because I've been waiting 3 years for Dwight. I finally got my chance, so I'm going to take it for everything I can.
Maurice, what's this Shriners game meant to you?
Well, it's been a lot of things because we've grown close together as a team, and we got that good chemistry. That's what made it fun, making new friends, getting together, coming out here whipping some butt. People thinking we're underdogs. Well, the scoreboard says another story. Thank you.
Cedar Rapids, Kennedy, North Squad.
He's going to walk on at Northern Iowa. High school all-star football game from Kingston Stadium. I'm Jerry Koala. Lonnie Rogers is along with me. We talk a little bit about Mark Weaver. He'll be a walk-on athlete at Northern Iowa. We'll get to that after this play. Here's the double reverse fake. Weaver rolling out to his right, has some running room. Now to the 5. He cuts back and he's into the end zone for the score. Mark Weaver of West Delaware. What a great way to cap a fine high school career.
Well, I'll tell you what, and that was sort of the Mark Weaver drive. I mean, he had on that, and then ended up by that time coming out and just doing a great job of freezing the secondary, making the pass all the time. Finally got himself up close to the line of scrimmage and ran it in from about
10 yards.
10 yards out. Good run.
He threw for 4,100 yards in his career, 48 touchdown passes, only 22 interceptions. He started the 2 years. He was first team All-State Iowa Newspaper Association, first team All-State Des Moines Register, first team All-District his junior and senior years. He's a National Honor Society student, 3.8 GPA, headed to Northern Iowa. Terry Allen will be very happy to have him. And Joe Olson with the extra point kick, making it 28-0 for the North, leading the South. We've just begun the fourth period of play. We'll have more in 60 seconds.
You're invited to change your seat to the ball game for the presentation of the one-time player award.
The reverse, you stayed home.
You betcha. I saw it coming. I saw the lines pulling all over the place, and I knew something had to come back my way.
You guys are really putting it to the South.
That's because we're pumped. Coach Purnell gave a great speech before the game saying that we're the underdog. We didn't believe that we were the underdog. We knew that we could win this game. They got a few talented players over there, but this team came to play.
Jim, one final question. What's this Shrine game meant to you personally?
Oh, it's outstanding. I mean, this is my football I get this year. I have to redshirt next year when I go to college, and it's so great to put on the pads with so many great guys. Thanks.
Down, had to feel good.
Not really. I got hit kind of hard, but it feels good afterwards.
Mark, what was the play?
It was a faked reverse and then end around pass and just kept it on the sweep. So it worked out good.
But it felt good to get in the end zone.
Oh, it's great, especially from all the fans and all my friends and all the opponents over there.
Mark, what's this game meant to you to play in the Shrine game?
Oh, it's just unbelievable. It's a great honor. Going up and seeing the kids, that really sticks in your heart. And it's just a great opportunity to showcase your talents.
Mark, thank you.
Thank you.
Buckon could have a pretty good college career, too.
I think you and I picked a good one. Ended up with a good one. Craziness. But you know, one of the things, Jerry, you should take a look down here and maybe people can see it, but all the football players have a whole bunch of decals on their helmets. And what they do is they're exchanging those decals from all of their different teams. So it looks like their helmets are just covered with a bunch of things, and that's what those are, the decals that they exchange with the other teams on the helmet.
Yeah, complete team unity both from the North and the South, and as we can get a look at a close-up there, you'll be able to see some of those. I know Charlie Schimberg has that. Gary Mayfield caught that kickoff, and his knee touched down at the 13-yard line, and so that's where the South will start, 1st and 10 at the 13. Porting back into quarterback the South team. Hunkering over the ball is Dan Peterson from West Branch. We happen to speak with Butch Peterson, no relation, at halftime. It's Mayfield in motion out to the left. It's a quick pitch out to the left to Kell. He gets about 3 or 4. Maurice Blue in there for the North to make a stop. Also Ryan Durst from Northwood Kensett, and another gentleman in there for the North is Ryan Plattner from Anamosa. Nice athlete for Anamosa, playing in tonight's All-Star game. Pick up about 5 yards out to the 18-yard line. I'll tell you, those quick pitches really can get somewhere quickly. That's why they're a quick pitch.
Well, they get to the outside a little quicker. That's sometimes you can catch a defensive end, maybe not paying attention, you get outside, and it's easy to turn it up the field if the back's got pretty good speed.
13 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the fourth and final period of play here, and Kell with the pitch from Portinga. He slips and falls back at about the 16-yard line, and that'll be a loss of 2 on the play. We'll bring up 3rd down and 7. A lot of things haven't gone well for the South tonight, and I think mainly that's attributed to how well the defense is playing of the North.
Well, they've come out and they've played a 4-team defense, which is a great defense for an all-star game. Because what you end up doing is you've got 4 people up there, and then you've got 3 linebackers that can be pretty active, and they play their strong safety up there so many times it almost looks like a 4-4.
Trips formation to the left. Kell is in motion to right. A pass right across the middle. Nice defensive effort by Mitch Lowers from New Hampton to pull the hands back of the tight end as he pulled off the line of scrimmage. That is Brad Buffington from Winfield Mountain Union. He had it in his hands, and Lowers did a good job to knock it away.
It was very close. A play that they'd run a little earlier in the ball game, trying to get the ball to their tight end, and a little play action, and then try to dump it over the center, and then give him a lot of running room up the center. But as you mentioned, Jerry, good defensive effort. He tied the ball up and he tied the arm up, so he wasn't able to bring it in.
Buffington's nickname, of course, is Buff. He'll be a physics major when he goes to Coe College this coming fall. He's part of that Winfield Mountain Union playoff team from last fall. Here's the punt. It'll be downed inside the 45-yard line. by the South, and it's Todd Scott from Newton downing it. So it's a 28-0 lead for the North, and they have forced the South to punt once again. The North ball control now probably will be of utmost importance to them. They have a 4-touchdown lead, and they certainly can utilize a lot of variance in their offense.
Well, that was a great punt last time. That was about a 45-yard punt. They got up and they got the point turned over. The North was pretty lucky, not fielding the football. That ball could very easily pointed and turned over to about another 20 yards downfield.
John Elder back in at quarterback. He's from Sioux City West. In motion, it's Kramer who scored the first touchdown. Elder with the reverse option. He's sacked under, and now a fumble on the play, and it looks like the North will recover. Hustling was Dan Knipp from Waterloo, Columbus. He followed Elder, who was surrounded by white jerseys. He fumbled the football as he had it knocked out of his hands, and Knipp recovered it at the 44-yard line. So a yard on the play.
Yeah, Elder came down the line of scrimmage that time. That's that option play that they run.
2nd and 9. 44.
Well defense to the outside, so he had no choice to try to turn it up in the seam. And did a great job of it, but he was carrying the ball a little bit out in front of him and ended up getting one out of his hand.
Dan Knipp from Waterloo, Columbus. Here's the pitch back to Charlie Schimberg, and he'll go nowhere. Nice defensive effort by Corey Kluver from Ankeny. And Schimberg won't get anything on the play. It'll remain at the 44-yard line, brings up 3rd down and 9 from the 44.
That was Schimberg's 12th carry of the ball game, and I got him for 55 yards.
3rd down 10.
Most of it
the 43-yard line.
And I got Joel Rogers now. He's carried 11 times for 65 yards.
And he has a number of return yards, too, for special teams. Multi-purpose yardage for Joel Rogers tonight. Dan Knipp will be going to Iowa Lakes Community College, and will be studying history. Here's Elder with the reverse, and he throws out to the right flat, intended for Schimberg, nothing doing. I think he saw some great defensive coverage by Michael Babbitt out on that left flat, and he overthrew.
Broken up by Michael Babbitt.
Overthrown Charlie Schimberg of Regis. It'll bring up a 4th down and 9 with the ball remaining at the 44-yard line, and Joe Olson, like Carter Romel, are getting a lot of work from the punting department tonight. Tim Dwight is deep, as well as Aaron Egbert, a couple of speedsters. There's Egbert. He takes it at the 29, and he's brought right to the ground. Nice coverage. Josh Dodd from Northwood Kensett. Great coverage on the play, and that's pure timing, isn't it, Lonnie?
Aaron Egbert on the return.
And more than anything else, it's just great hustle. When you get off the line of scrimmage, you get down and you get downfield. And when you get downfield, about the time that individual is catching the football, that's perfect timing, and that's
Tell you what, this kid really knows how to enjoy some time off. This Josh Dodd, he likes to go fishing. He's going to be heading to the University of Minnesota this coming fall. His highlight in his high school career was being in the state finals in the state wrestling tournament, and certainly playing in this All-Star game was another highlight for him. It's a 1st and 10 for the South, trailing 28-0. In there at quarterback for the South is Mark Courtney from Pella, and he made a nice pass out to the left into the hands of Gary Mayfield. About a yard gain on the play.
That was a good catch by Mayfield. He reached up one-handed.
South, no matter who wins or loses in this ball game, it's the Shriners Hospital programs that will be the big winner, with the attendance money, the proceeds going to the Shriners children's programs. 2nd down and 8 with the ball spotted at the 31. In motion, it's Mayfield out to the right. Fortinga now with the fake handoff to Kell. Back to pass, he throws out to the right flat. He's got Mayfield wide open. He catches it to 35. Skips between a couple of tacklers across the 40 out to the 44-yard line. Set him up beautifully and skip between them.
Good play. Got him out the flat, and then he's able to use his quickness and his ability, and he picked after he caught the football.
13-yard pickup on the play to bring up a 1st and 10 with the ball spotted just inside the 45. We'll call it the 44-yard line. The South has not been able to penetrate any deeper, as I can recall, Lonnie, probably than the 40 of the North. Probably some miscues and just some running out of downs has hurt them.
Early in the first half, they were able to get down to about
Fortinga's pass to Matt Braddock of Tipton is complete. The split end screen will get them near midfield. Pick up a 5 yards out to the 49-yard line. 2nd down and 5 with the ball at the 49. Fortinga have been going most of the second half here. Now Scott Remsburg from Western Warren Valley sprints onto the field. and will take the next few plays. They, I suppose at this point, are exchanging players now even beyond the 9-player limit and even sooner. Throw formation to the right. Actually, it's a tight formation. You've got a very small tight end here on the left. It's a split end. Matt Young back to pass as Remsburg. Across the middle he goes, and he was looking to go over the top to Tim Dwight, but nothing doing. Andrew Paulson with nice coverage as well, and Jeff Swenson from Spencer in there playing defensive back for the North.
Well, Remsburg looked downfield and saw Dwight cover. They had good defensive coverage on it. Took the football, just threw it over the head, over everybody's head, got rid of it, and go to the next play.
Third down and 5 with the ball spotted at the 49. We're into the 9-minute mark. 8:58 remaining in this ball game. In there for the North at nose guard, Paul Schroeder from Lamar's Galen. Chris Knipper also at linebacker, and it looks like the young man from Vinton-Schellsburg, Jason Lurches. And here's a nice pass out to the right flat to a wide open Mitch Braddock. And he does a nice spin move and is taken down to the ground. He spun around DeAndre Jones and finally was taken down to the ground by Jeff Swenson, but nevertheless, it's a nice completed pass. Braddock, surprised that he found himself so wide open, had good enough speed to pick up 10 extra yards.
Well, it was a good play. He stepped out to the outside and really one coverage in the secondary, which is easy to do when you're playing in an all-star game, trying to figure out where everything goes. They're just trying to go, and they ended up with 2 receivers in the same area.
22-yard pickup on the play. Tim Dwight now comes in and he's out in trips formation right, and Knipper does pick it up. Remsburg back to pass. They need to get some scoring. Here's Remsburg pass out to the left, trying to get to the big tight end, and it's knocked away. We'll have an interference call on DeAndre Jones. Pretty tough call, but it looked to me like he may have been riding Michael Berger, the much bigger tight end. Berger at 6'3" and 190 pounds from Harlan, and DeAndre Jones, the smaller Jones, at about 5'11", 170 pounds, and it looks as if it will be pass interference on the defense.
Well, Berger got the inside. In the second half, good job of moving the ball through the air.
Remsburg at quarterback. He has Dwight out to the right. It's strip formation. Remsburg gets snowed under great defensive pressure. Jeff Shaney from Emmitsburg, one of them to get there. Also in on the stop, Paul Schroeder from Lamar's Galen, and Chris Knipper in there too. They have some nice penetrating linebackers and defensive linemen. I suppose at this juncture in the game, even the guys in the field are putting together some pretty good schemes.
Well, at the linebacker spot, and he came up the line of scrimmage to rush on that time, where he's playing the defensive end on this side.
Tim Dwight and Miguel Luna in there at the running backs. McQuay and Braddock split out to your left. Here's Remsburg back to pass, and a wide open Tim Dwight catches it, and into the end zone he goes. That's the first score of the night for the South, and that would be touchdown number 44 for Tim Dwight during his senior season. If you want to accumulate the 43 that he got last fall in just the 12-game season. Great pass by Scott Remsburg to a wide open Tim Dwight.
Well, what they ended up doing is Dwight came out of the backfield, came out to the front spot, and he ended up...
Yard pass completion from Scott Remsburg to Tim Dwight for the touchdown. And kind of frustrating probably for a guy like Tim Dwight that is used to scoring. I think he scored 81 touchdowns in his entire career. He played as a freshman, started as a sophomore, and he had fabulous seasons his junior and senior years. 81 times he crossed the goal line, Lonnie, and teams in complete programs don't score that many times.
I was going to say, probably that would we'd have to go to high school about another 3 or 4 years and combine our total to even get there, wouldn't it?
Some conferences, Lonnie, don't score that many touchdowns in the 9-game season. But that does break the frustration for the South tonight. They have scored. It's 28-6, and now may be trying to set up some type of trick play here. In to do the kicking is Heath Lyle from Keota Sigourney. They need every bit of points that they can get. If they can pick up 2 here, obviously better than 1. Now they will set up around center and try for the extra point. There's the snap. Lyle's kick, it's end over end, and then it looks good from here. The hold was by Matt Young from Indianola. 28-7, with 7.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. It's the 22nd annual Shriners All-Star High School football game from Kingston Stadium here in Cedar Rapids. We'll be back with a kickoff in 60 seconds. It was an 8-play, a 71-yard drive, capped off by the Remsburg to Dwight score, Lonnie, and they certainly showed some offensive punch.
Well, they did a great job of throwing the football in this series. 6 passes,
And using the rule that being down by more than 3 touchdowns, the South decided to have the North kick them. I believe that's how that rule works, isn't it, Lonnie?
Exactly. If you're down by more than 2 touchdowns, I believe it is, you're able to keep the football. And see, that's all the things, you know, you stick it on a roll, and they've been able to move the football pretty well here through the air. 7 minutes and 19 seconds is a long time.
You know, the Cincinnati Bengals could have used that last year. Probably a number of times they could have been in more ball games.
Well, you know, I think it's a nice feature that they put into a lot of the All-Star games. A lot of it does make for an exciting football game.
First and 10 at the 34. That was Rodney McQuay on that return of the kick from Mitch Lauris. Back to pass. It's Portinger. Nice throw out to the flat. He goes to Braddock. He's found himself a receiver in Matt Braddock from Tipton. And Braddock now, I believe, with his 4th catch. And I think they've all come here in the second half.
Well, he's getting a little time back there, but one thing he didn't have in the first half, and probably one of the things they're looking at the scoreboard and they're saying, well, geez, we got a 28-7 lead. You know, the only thing we have to do is keep them from throwing a long bomb. And consequently, you get a little passive out there, and they're not maybe putting the heat on the quarterback that they need to put on it.
6:25 remaining in the ball game. A 9-yard pickup on the pass completion. Back to pass again, and right across the middle. Nice pass. Portinger showed a little arm there as he was trying to get the ball to little Matt Young, 5'7", 150-pounder from Indianola, and nearly intercepted, broken up out there by Matt Miller from Southern Cal.
Well, on the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 passes, that's only the second incomplete pass that they've thrown in the last 8 passes, so they're doing a great job. And in a case like that, right, they were very close to completing that pass. Even though it was trying to squeeze it in there between 2 fingers.
The Oklahoma Shriners High School All-Star Football Game is in its 22nd year of raising money for the Shriners Hospitals for Crippled Children. In 21 years, the game has raised over $985,000, bettering last year's total of over $38,000.
Yeah, we finally got the ball in somebody's hands on passing game, so if we can keep completing some passes, I think we'll be all right. We might have a chance to get back in the game.
Tell us about the touchdown pass, Scott.
Dwight just ran a go on the sideline, and he was wide open. I finally got the ball to one of our receivers.
And you just put it up, you laid it up there nicely.
Yeah, he ran right under it. It helps when you got speed like he does, so all I had to do was throw it out there. He ran right under it.
What's this game mean to you, Scott, to play in this game?
It's a lot of fun. You know, we're out here playing for those Shrine Hospitals, and we just hope both teams are out here having a lot of fun. And you know, you hate to lose, but it's just having a lot of fun out here, I think. Thank you.
And here's the first down run. Great decision, Miguel Luna with the run. He'll get across the 45, right at the 45, so we'll give him a 2-yard pickup. 1st and 10 with the ball spotted at the 45, and the clock stopped for the first down at 6 minutes and 10, and the referee will be beginning here with his whistle. South with the football, Portinger at quarterback. Maybe see a little flash here, a little pizzazz in this offensive set. McQuay is split out to the left. Dwight is split out to the right. Portinger is going to put it up over the top, going to get it to Tim Dwight. He's hustling after it. He comes, and in and out of his hands. On an effort out there was Ryan Durst of Northwood Kensett. Tim let the ball hit him in the shoulder pads and bounced out.
The only problem with that is that the ball just wasn't thrown far enough. You know, it's hard to break this speed. I mean, you think you put it out there.
Tim, tell me about the touchdown.
Well, just was arc release, and I just went down on the sideline, and Berger ran a little post, and he sucked in the cornerback, and I was wide open, and he slayed it out, and he's there.
What's it mean for you to play in this game, Tim?
It feels good. I mean, out here, best guys, you know, south of Highway 30, and come out here and play against the best guys in the north, and you know, it's a higher level, but I don't know. We just had some difficulties tonight, and that's the way it goes. So we're having fun. We had fun all the last 2 weeks, and you know, it's for a good cause, and I'm glad everybody showed up. I didn't give them a show. I should have, but that's the way it goes.
And throws Kell perhaps for a 1-yard loss. He may have at least got back to the line of scrimmage. We'll wait and see where the spot of the ball is. Maurice Blue is having a fine game from his defensive position.
Kell, that's his 8th carry of the ball game for 24 yards, but he's been pretty much shut down here in the second half. He's primarily because the ball has been thrown in the second half. He's carried 4 times in the second half for 3 yards.
A loss of 1 on the play from Mike Kell. 3rd down and 11. The ball spotted at the 44-yard line. Brian Brooks from Knoxville is over top of the football as center. Mix up on position, and McQuay now is out. It's a trips formation to the left with Miguel, Luna, the lone back. Back to pass, and knocked to the ground by Jared DeVries. Usually those guys would go down with the quarterback, but DeVries hit him so hard and knocked him down, and he just stepped over top of him like a hurdle and continued to run out to the left and celebrate a little bit. Portinga is going to feel that a little bit too.
Well, I was going to say, that game's from the backside, and when you have someone, DeVries who's 6'5", 220 pounds, in Parkersburg, he's a horse.
He is a horse. Jared DeVries, we can talk a little bit about Jared DeVries and his career at Appleton Parkersburg. And he was first-team elite defensive end his senior year, first-team All-State fullback defensive end junior and senior year. He had 3,800 yards rushing in a 2-year total. There's the punt, and it's fair caught by Joel Rogers. He scored 66 touchdowns himself. Defensively, he had 26 quarterback sacks himself. On his team, he was voted the 1992 and 93 Iron Worker Award for his weightlifting, and Ed Thomas up there at Appleton Parkersburg's got some kind of program.
Well, he's another one of those we talked to, they're two individuals that keep turning up those great programs year after year after year. So we got a lot of them here to see about.
Then he capped off his senior year with the Class 2A championship last fall. Back to pass, it's Mark Weaver, right over the top he goes, and a nice catch, great execution. Jason Gengerke from Spirit Lake. And I'll tell you, Mark Weaver laid that ball in the right spot. There was nice coverage on the play. Nice coverage on the play by Lawler Twilley from Burlington, but it was just thrown right over the top.
You know, I'll tell you what, just when you thought that they were going to get conservative, they turn around and on first down, throw the ball down, pick up the first down, and just a great pass. What was the yardage on that, Jay?
It was completed to Gengerke. They're out to the 47, a 20-yard pickup on the play. Brings up another 1st and 10 with the ball now spotted at the 47. We're down to 4.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. Weaver with the quick drop back. He's going to throw it again right over the top. Out to the left he goes. This time it was intended for Scott Herkelman out of Hudson and a little bit beyond the reach of Herkelman.
You know something, I'll tell you what, that pass by Weaver, you know, when we've done several ball games, we've done the Regis ball game up there when they play, I've seen him throw that many times. He throws that pass extremely well.
That's his bread and butter, isn't it?
You bet, and that last 20-yard pass, that was his 4th straight completion in a row up until this last pass.
And there's no doubt we should talk about Dave Jacobson in the program he started, or has going at West Delaware. He came from the City High mold, and so he knows what it's like to win, and he knows how to get a winner started. Here's the quick pitch back to Joel Rogers, really nowhere to go, trying to make something on his own. Great defensive effort out there by the South. Chad Beals from Columbus and Josh Riley from West Marshall putting the hit on Joel Rogers, and he'll pick up 1 yard. Out to the 47-yard line, brings up 2nd and 9, at the 48-yard line, excuse me, after the 1 yard pickup.
That's Joel Rogers' 12th carry of the ball game. He's picked up 66 yards.
Scott Herkelman brings in the play from the sideline. As you said, Joel Malson, the offensive coordinator tonight. Both of these coaching staffs have put together very well, selected very well. He's got the best of all of them. Here's a nice pass out to the left. It goes to Scott Herkelman. Nice pass from Weaver. Pinpoint accuracy out there in that long, flat pass. Herkelman with a nice catch and enough for a first down. Herkelman showed a lot of speed.
Well, he had great speed out there.
14-yard gain, 1st and 10 Norris. On the 38-yard line.
He's just sort of, I mean, he's put it right on the money. I mean, you gotta have stone hands if you don't catch those balls.
Oh, absolutely. 14-yard pickup on the pass play to Herkelman. He was able to play in the Down Under Bowl in Australia earlier this summer as Coach Ron Skipper from Central took a number of athletes of high school down there. Coach's comment, this guy has a heart of a giant and is very intense, and as you noticed on that last patch, he has 45 catches his senior year. Here's the pitch back. It goes to Kramer, a young man that hasn't seen the football since his opening score. Chad Kramer from Cherokee High School. Now we have penalty markers on the play. This Scott Herkelman from Hudson, he really does it all at 45 pass receptions, 15 rushes, 11 punt returns, 36 of 39 from extra point kicking. And you can imagine with his intensity and his ability to play that you have to put him somewhere.
He's a great young man. The last play that they just ran back, like Kramer ran where he was the same play that they scored a touchdown. They scored a 13-yard touchdown on. Same action, a flanker spot around. It's play action into the line and a little reverse coming around to the backside.
Loss of 1 by the run of Chad Kramer. It's now a 2nd down and 11 with the ball spotted on the 39-yard line of the South. Time is running out. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this ball game. Weaver with it now. He'll be thrown to the ground. Nice penetration. You know, Corey Kluver from Ankeny, you know, one of those, it's probably one of those plays where it's sent in that the linebacker has the wide open shot of where he wants to penetrate, and Kluver found the spot and threw Weaver for a loss.
Yeah, it was. He came in from the outside. I think that was, you probably heard someone say, look out. That was one of those blocks because he came pretty much untouched from the outside.
And he was sacked all the way back to the 47, which is an 8-yard loss. It'll bring up 3rd and 19 with the ball at the 47-yard line. Kluver has been in on a lot of plays tonight. They call him Kluve. His favorite athlete is Chris Spielman, the great linebacker from Ohio State, I believe, that went to the Detroit Lions. He'll be headed to Drake University. You know what his hobby is? The great outdoors. Here's a handoff. It looks like Rogers or Schimberg, or it is Charlie Schimberg, trying to do something off tackle on the right side, and he'll not pick up anything. It brings up a 4th down and 19. For all practical purposes, this football game is over, but I'm sure all of these athletes have had a great time being out at Kingston Stadium tonight and playing in their final game as a high school student.
Well, you know, there's a lot of them that, as we mentioned, as we've gone down through that, there's a lot of these young men that this is the last football game they'll ever play. They're not going on. They maybe chose to devote their times to their academic and their studies when they go on to school. And of course, as we all know, there's a lot of these young men that are going on to play Division III, Division II, and Division I football. So they've all had just youthful careers during their high school years and some terrific memories that they'll be able to take with them as long as they live.
Delay of game penalty now on the North squad. 4th down and 24. The ball will be set back at the 48-yard line of the North, and Joe Olson in to do the punting. Tim Dwight and Aaron Egbert back for the South to pick up on the punt. They're inside the 20-yard line, both a couple of speedsters, and they both have legitimate chances of doing something with the football. Here's Egbert, and he catches it at the 20 and is immediately blasted. You know, he looks like he's one of those daredevil punt returners that doesn't like the fair catch.
I'll tell you what, I'll give him a 10 for courage, because he had a sprint coming down towards him that time.
Led by Jared DeVries.
Yeah, and he sat there and he caught that ball maybe about a half a second before the Thundering Herd ran over the top.
Oh, he had to know it was coming too, man. 1st and 10 for the South. Inside of 1 minute to play in this football game. Ball's at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the South at the 20, and in that quarterback will be Portinga. Single back with a trips formation to the right. Out in motion to the left, it's Kell. Long count, back to pass. Portinga, the pass across the middle to Berger, and he had it. And it rolled over the top of his shoulder pad, and it fell incomplete. Matt Griman from Garner Hayfield was in there on the coverage. Looked like that play when Northern Iowa played in that playoff game last year, where that Northern Iowa back caught the ball on his shoulder pad and rolled it over the top and continued downfield for about 20 yards.
We had a ball game. This goes back a long time, but
did you have face masks during these days?
We had leather helmets, but I mean, a guy was the same thing happened. He was getting ready to turn and threw the ball way too soon and lodged it.
Oh, and Greg Purnell down on the sideline gets the Gatorade toss. And a pass that's complete out to the right flat to Kell, and a nice tackle by DeAndre Jones. Waterloo East made a nice hit on it. Purnell is all soaked now. Of course, he's such a little guy. It doesn't take a whole lot to get him wet.
Well, I tell you what, he just gained about 10 pounds, I think. That's all the water all over him. And I'll guarantee you, I've never had that done to me, but I've talked to several of the coaches that have. You want to talk about a shock to the system, just have that water, cold ice water, come down over your body.
Oh, there's more. It's Purnell. He's soaked to the skin. He's so wet this shirt doesn't even show. Oh, they're having a fun time down there. Of course, on the other side of the coin, the guys in the South a little bit disappointed not having the fun that the North is, but nevertheless, Lonnie, as we stated, this All-Star game is well worth it for them.
Well, and I guarantee you, Greg Purnell, if they want to throw 20 in there, he probably won't play.
Make him run some grass drills after this game is over, just to show a little dominance here. 22 seconds remaining in the ball game. The pass out into the flat will land just shy of Tim Dwight. 18 seconds remaining, 28 to 7 is the score. Brings up a 4th down. The ball spotted at the 18-yard line. Having Sapana, a little bit of disarray.
Well, it's always, you know, the kids, and like you said, Jerry, there's no losers in this game. I mean, this is there's only winners, and the Shriners are the big, and the kids are the big winners.
Absolutely. We've seen some of the finest talent tonight, and all of these athletes have played their hearts out for their respective team. Matt Chapman from Creston in there at right guard for the White tonight, working it back to pass. He's looking right across the middle. He goes, and nice completion to Kell. Tries to get away from Chris Knipper, and Knipper got his fingers inside that mesh jersey, wouldn't let loose, and they did a little do-si-do out there on about the 27. Pickup of 10 on the play. Mass substitutions, only 8 seconds remaining in this game. The fans that are right in front of us giving the North a standing ovation, and looks like they might just be calling the game here at this point. There it is. Well, it's an exciting night of high school football action, of course, of a different type. This is the 22nd annual El Tahir Shriners All-Star High School Football game from Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. And one of the important things about this game is they try to get it at a variety of sites around the state of Iowa. Sioux City held it for a long time. It's been up at northern Iowa as well, and they're trying to keep it here in Cedar Rapids, and there are some adjustments that need to be made here in the stadium facilities for it to be held here, and hopefully with some contributions and some other fundraising efforts that they might be able to bring it back here every 2 years.
Well, I think it's a great thing for Cedar Rapids to have it here, and to have these kids come in. And number one, have the exposure that they have. It's a great place, great college, and use those facilities up there. And it's just been a great experience for these kids to come in. The one thing they take away, you know, besides the memories of the game, they take away some great friendships that they've all been able to develop over this week and a half. They practice together. They're going to go their own separate ways now. You'll be surprised how many of these kids will keep these friendships going over the next 3 or 4 years. So it's a wonderful opportunity. I just sit there
A very happy North squad right about midfield that is celebrating the win tonight, a 28-7 victory over the South squad. Greg Purnell and his coaching staff, I guess you would declare them the winners, and Kurt Blatt and his staff the non-winners, because there are no losers in any competition whatsoever. But nevertheless, the children's hospitals, the Shriners Children's programs, are the ones that are big winners tonight, and they probably will be counting the pennies to see exactly what they came up with in contribution that will be given out to the Shriners hospitals for children. We'll have our post-game festivities for you coming up in 60 seconds.
Right over there, boy, right over there, guys.
Come on, baby. Good job, guys. All right. We go. Good shot, Roger. Let's get quick Hell's Bells. Let's get quick Hell's Bells. Hell's Bells.
The most valuable player
Quick Hell's
for
Bells.
the North All-Stars. On offense, Joel Rogers.
The MVP players for both squads, offensively and defensively. We'll give you those two here in just a minute. And your most valuable player for the South squad on offense was Tim Dwight. He did finally get the South on the board in the fourth quarter with a 22-yard touchdown pass. I believe it was from, I want to say Scott Remsburg, but I would hate to be wrong. It is Scott Remsburg from West Des Moines Valley. And the defensive most valuable player was Carter Rollmiller, who played a nice game defensively, but he also did a very good job of punting the football tonight for the South. Now, on the north side, Joel Rogers, probably a unanimous selection, most valuable player. He had 4 great punt returns. He scored on a 38-yard touchdown run that certainly deserves some highlights of its own. He was the offensive player, most valuable player for the North, and the defensive most valuable player for the North squad, Maurice Blue, from right here in Cedar Rapids, Washington. And I know that Lonnie Rogers will attest to the fact that Maurice not only played his position very well, but he probably could have played 2 or 3 other positions and played them very well. He was in on a number of tackles for losses. He did a very good job of containment from his linebacking position, and he showed what he is worth and what Wally Sheets at Cedar Rapids, Washington has done with that young man. And of course, Coach Terry Allen will be very happy to have him on his sideline as a freshman this upcoming football season. 28-7 was our final score. The North defeats the South. It's the 22nd annual El Cajir Shriners All-Star High School football game from Kingston Stadium. We'll have more in 60 seconds.
Coach, your kids really came out and played with a lot of heart.
Well, I tell you, some people that I talked to about Shrine games said, Coach, if you keep them having fun, they usually win the game. And so that's basically what we tried to do, because we were really a significant underdog coming into this game. And, even though we had some talented kids, I think, you know, the feeling was that the South was a really strong football team with, you know, the greatest football players come out of the state of Iowa in 25 years. And our kids just really played extremely well. We spent a lot of time on the kicking game during the 2 weeks, and it really paid off. Tim didn't get the ball, and I went a couple times on kicks, and our return game was just really, really tough. Joel Rogers is really outstanding.
One final question, Coach. Many of the players said your pregame speech had them ready to play.
Well, I had to tell them that they had to wait 20 minutes, because most of the time you can use a little bit of motivation and get them on the field, and they play and it lasts for a couple seconds. But I told them, now, whatever I'm telling you, we got to wait 20 minutes to use.
They were ready to play. Craig, thank you.
Thank you.
Rapids, Washington, North MVP defense. Nice honor.
Yeah, the whole defense did a real good job. It was probably hard for them to figure it out because everyone was out here sticking. So that's all it came down to, showed on the scoreboard.
But you guys came and you guys were ready to play.
Yeah, I think I don't think anyone on the team's ever played against the White except for maybe 2 or 3 guys. And that was it, and everyone wanted a shot at him because they heard so much about him.
You guys were the decided underdogs coming in, but they didn't seem to bother you.
Yeah, that surprised us. I think Coach Purnell told us the same thing before the game. And I think it just stuck in the back of our heads, and we came out, and we didn't like it, so we did something about it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Elder Sioux City West, North, and John had to feel real good tonight.
Yeah, it did. I was really pleased with the way our team played, and just like to say hi to everybody back in Eastern Iowa that I moved away from.
What does this game mean to you, John, to play in this game?
It meant a lot because there was a lot of people with negative thoughts back where I was from, and even in Sioux City and stuff, they didn't think that, you know, somebody could come and be a Division I football player or anything like that, or to be able to play in this game. It was an opportunity of a lifetime, and I lived it up.
What was it like the last 13 days with these guys from all over the state?
It was great, and the best time we had was up in the Shriners Hospital in Minneapolis, seeing some of those kids and just realized that how lucky we are and stuff, and how great we have it compared to what they have.
That really hit home for you?
Oh yeah, it did. It's made me think about like when things are going bad, how bad they really have it and how good we really do.
Nice little crowd on hand tonight at Kingston Stadium for this annual El Cajir Shriners High School All-Star football game. They now have congregated out at about midfield here on the west sideline of Kingston Stadium. And interestingly enough, Kingston Stadium had a new track surface put down on it this summer, and they have added one lane to it so they can hold some bigger and more major track meets. Of course, that's off in the near future. But the crowds was treated to a very good high school football game tonight with 88 of the finest senior football players from around the state of Iowa. The North wins it 28-7 with some great touchdown runs started by Chad Kramer, that is, from Cherokee High School on a 13-yard touchdown run that followed a Joel Rogers 32-yard punt return. Charlie Schimberg scored the second touchdown for the North on a 17-yard touchdown run. That also followed a Joel Rogers 69-yard punt return. That made it 14-0. And then as we move into the second half of play, Joel Rogers with his shot playing tailback ran 38 yards for a touchdown run, making it 21-0 as Joel Olson added the extra points in all 3 of those. Mark Weaver, quarterback from west of Delaware, Manchester, Iowa, plays for Dave Jacobson up at West Delaware on a 10-yard touchdown run with the 4th score of the night. And I do believe that also followed a punt return by Joel Rogers. And finally, at 28-0, the South squad got on the scoreboard with Scott Remsburg finding Tim Dwight wide open along the sideline at about the 10-yard line. It turned into a 22-yard touchdown pass, and the South did get on the scoreboard. 28-7 was our final score. Nevertheless, as we mentioned, the winners only being the children of the Shriners hospital programs for children. And Lonnie, you've got those accurate stats accumulated and ready to go?
Well, I've got something here that I don't know if it's going to be resemble accurate statistics or not, but at least it's a stab at it. First down, let's take a look at the South. First of all, they had much money in the second half. They ended up with 10 first downs for the game. Really improved their passing in the second half. They ended up with 9-21 and 117 yards. Rushing, obviously, in the second half, they were catch-up mode, so they really only rushed for 3 yards. They ended up with 64, so they ended up with about 189 yards total offense in the ball game. Tim Dwight ended up with 40 yards on 8 carries, and Matt Gallup ended up with 24 yards on 8 carries. That pretty much summed up the North or the South offense. Looking at from the North standpoint, they picked up, again, they got pretty balanced. They ended up with 7 first downs in the first half, and ended up picking up 7 first downs in the second half for a total of 14 in the ball game. They ended up with completing 6 out of 11 passes for 79 yards, and in rushing, they ended up with 214 yards rushing, up from 152 in the first half, and combine that with 79 yards passing, and they had 293 yards total offense in the ball game. Looking at some of the individuals, it was Joel Rogers ended up with 12 carries for 67 yards, and also approximately about 130 to 140 yards on touchdown. Lennerberg ended up with 13 carries for 56 yards, just real good running. Paul had 2 carries for 32 yards, 32 yards. Elder picked up 30 yards on 3 carries. Kramer had that good, pretty good first run in the first half, 13 yards, touchdown, in the second half on the same play, but this time only resulted in 2 points. Rooney also carried the ball, Rooney twice, so he ended up with 40 yards. So really just a pretty good evening by the North. They had good balance. Second half came out to the ball a little bit better, but 293 yards to 181 yards.